batting average. Lefty on lefty matchup. Again, Stanford going with 2 lefty weekend starters with Bubic, your Saturday guy. This is technically Saturday, but essentially your Sunday starter in Eric Miller. First pitch is in there at 105, and strike one taken, inner half of the plate.
Mentioned Stanford, they haven't just played a good schedule, but they have the second best win-loss record in the country. Only Oregon State has a better overall winning percentage in the country.
The 0-1 is low. Yeah, Oregon State basically one game better at 21-3. Stanford, so they're even in the loss column. Of course, that'll be a big series in Corvallis later this year. 1-1 misses. So
it's an interesting week upcoming for Stanford. They have that game with Gonzaga, which is a 1 o'clock game on Monday. Then at Santa Clara at UCLA.
Kassler, senior from Brea, California, went to Brea Olinda High. Last year hit .352, highest batting average for an Oregon Duck since baseball returned to Eugene in 2009. It was great to see this program come back. They were discontinued in the early 80s. They were gone for about a little more than 25 years before George Horton, the longtime Cal State Fullerton head coach, came to resurrect this program. Here's the 3-1, and that is on the outer half of the plate, strike 2 at the knees.
And it came back, and I think one of the big reasons the Eugene Emeralds building PK Park, which with Oregon and Eugene Emeralds, the short season baseball team up in Eugene, is one of the best ballparks in the country.
So here comes the 3-2 to Kassler, swung on and fouled off at the plate. Now Colorado, the only Pac-12 team that does not have baseball. Jordan Watkins and I were talking about that yesterday on the broadcast. How fun would it be to have a baseball team in Boulder hit some long round trippers?
Yeah, that would be quite interesting. What would happen? They have those travel rosters for games.
Low and away, ball 4. Kassler draws a leadoff walk.
And they kind of limit the amount of players you can travel. And I think that in those situations, you'd see David Esker, George Horton bring maybe an extra pitcher or 7 for those series.
Yeah.
Arena baseball.
Arena baseball.
Coors Field. College level, that would be fun.
I would.
Air Force has a team. They're right there. I think they're actually even at a higher elevation in Colorado Springs.
So Daniel Patzlaff is in the batter's box, and he takes strike 1, about thigh high.
I went to, not that anybody cares, but I just saw I went to Syracuse. They're the only ACC team without a baseball team.
You were deprived.
Yeah, but I was going to say, people always have excuses. Like at Colorado, the excuse is it's that altitude. But, well, Air Force has a team. New Mexico has a team.
Yeah.
Syracuse is the weather. Well, St. Bonaventure has a team. Stony Brook made the College World Series a couple of years ago.
Yeah. Go Seawolves.
Some people look at things and they ask why. I ask why not. Why doesn't Colorado have baseball? Let's get it going.
You heard the campaign here first. Strike called. Outer black. And count is 0-2 to Patzlaff.
Big shout out. Oregon added baseball. Big shout out to Arizona State. They added men's tennis for the first year this year. Women's lacrosse. I think last year was their first year of men's ice hockey.
And they'd had a club team for a long time, the ice hockey.
It really stinks to see a lot of places fold sports because the idea always with college athletics is to get as many student athletes as you can, as many scholarships, as many sports, as much fun. And it's been great to see Oregon bring back baseball and Arizona State bring back a few sports.
And then Utah's going to be adding men's lacrosse. They'll be the first Pac-12 school to have men's lacrosse at the varsity level. Swing and a miss. Patzlaff down on strikes. And also, you mentioned Arizona State lacrosse. That allowed the Pac-12 to sponsor lacrosse because it gave them their 6th Pac-12 playing school. So this is the first year of Pac-12 women's lacrosse.
In case you're wondering, why does 6 matter?
That is that is the minimum number of schools or teams you need to get an auto bid. for the NCAA tournament. Spencer Steer, 270 hitter, steps in as they check back in over at first on Castor, who does have 6 stolen bases this year. He's only been caught stealing once.
You know, we're not just trying to bring you a baseball game today. We are trying to educate you.
Yeah, on college athletics at large. The first pitch is skied foul third base line. Hewitt has a beat on it. And a bit of a hop before grabbing that one. 2 away. So I'll bring up Gabe Matthews. First baseman for the Ducks, a sophomore from Salem, Oregon. Collegiate baseball freshman All-American last year when he hit 282, drove in 26. Hitting 3 home runs, played for the Corvallis Knights in the West Coast League, one of a number of wooden bat leagues during the summer for collegiate baseball players. Of course, the Cape Cod League, the most renowned league. Low and away, 1-0. Third game of the Stanford, Oregon series. Of course, it's Easter tomorrow, and so that's why this was a Thursday, Friday, Saturday series. Here's the 1-0. This one lined up the middle, just going to get out of the reach of Horner for a base hit up the middle to center field. So they'll put 2 Ducks on the pond as Castor's at second, Matthews at first. Matthews approaching 300. He is hitting 300 on the dot now, 27 of 90. And that'll bring up the catcher, Ray Soderman, a 271 hitter, who this year has 8 driven in. So a walk and a single thus far, conceded by Miller. First pitch just misses the inside corner, 1-0. Mr. Soderman, a junior from nearby Danville, went to San Ramon Valley High, then went to Tim's favorite JUCO, College of San Mateo.
Yeah, I grew up near there.
I will say that is a beautiful campus.
We've had some really good baseball players. I think Daniel Nava is the most famous of late. Went to Santa Clara, and Daniel Nava was not drafted and has carved out a really good Major League Baseball career. Scott Feldman got drafted straight from the CSM Bulldogs campus, and he has made a lot of money playing baseball.
1-1 to Soderman. Some really good facilities there at CSM, especially for a junior college program. Here's the 1-1, swung on and missed, strike 2.
Can you guess how much money Scott Feldman, don't look,
all right,
has made playing baseball?
120 million?
Not that much, but 55 million.
Okay. I don't know my contracts too well.
Not bad, though, for a fairly average pitcher.
Yeah. How old is he?
35.
Okay. 1-2. So that gives me hope I could still start my major league career.
Career 4.43 ERA.
Chopped up the middle, just got past Miller. Barehanded play by Horner, not in time. Infield single for Soderman. Good job by the catcher to leg that one out. Great play made by Horner. Good attempt, just not in time. That appeared to be the right call at first. So bases juiced for Jacob Goldfarb. Goldfarb, 344 in the year. Team leading 5 home runs, 17 driven in. And 31 hits and 90 ABs. Castor at third, Matthews at second, Soderman at first. Low and away. Goldfarb entering the series hitting .358. He's stumbled a little bit in that department. Yesterday, 0 for 4 with a strikeout. 2 for 5 on Thursday in the 10-1 win. Hit a home run in the fourth, part of a back-to-back job. This one lifted foul over the Oregon dugout and then some. So the count even at 1. The Ducks hitting 3 home runs on Thursday in that 10-1 victory. It's really the first time that Tristan Beck got touched up this year. 5 earned runs, 6 runs total, 7 hits in just 4 innings, struck out 2. You're going to have those outings every now and then. Unrealistic to think that the Cardinal would have a sub-2 ERA all season long. Here's the 1-1 in the dirt. It's a big spot here in the top of the first.
Miller really, you kind of keep in mind he walked the leadoff batter, and he has not had his rhythm. It's hard to have your rhythm out of the stretch, out of the gate, but he has had to pitch out of the stretch since that leadoff batter.
2-1 is skied to center. Tala underneath it, moving to his right, and he makes the catch. So the bases loaded for Oregon, unable to bring any home. We move to the bottom half of the first. Stanford coming to the plate after this on GoStanford.com.
Welcome back here to Sunken Diamonds on the campus of Stanford University on a gorgeous Saturday afternoon, the day before Easter. Here are the lineups we gave you the Oregon lineup in the top half. Stanford, here's their lineup. Tim Tala has been excellent this year out of the leadoff spot. 3 home runs and a .325 average. He bats first. Maverick Hanley, the catcher, bats second. Nico Horner, the shortstop from
Oakland.
The town. Andrew Dashback. Yeah, Nico's at shortstop batting third. Andrew Dashback from just down the street on the El Camino Real from SHP Sacred Heart Prep. Bats fourth. Kyle Stowers, the sophomore, with 2 home runs, bats fifth. Will Matheson. It is not a mystery hitter. Do not adjust your audio. The pitcher will be batting.
It's a new era.
Mark Marquis is still retired. So Will Matheson, a pitcher, is listed 6th. The Oregon native against his home state team, bats 6th. Nick Producer is the number 7 batter. He's at first base. Bo Brenton's the second baseman at batting 8th. And Jesse Hewitt, a pair of seniors, round out this Stanford lineup. Evan Williams is in left. DeLuca in center. Goldfarb in right. Steer, the third baseman. Pat Slaff is the shortstop. Castor at second. Matthews is the first baseman. And Soderman is the catcher for Colby Summers, 1-2 with a 3.66 ERA, 14 strikeouts in 19 2/3 innings to go against 4 walks. With the play-by-play, here is at Kevo408 on Twitter, Kevin Denna.
1,810 followers and counting. Strike 1 to Tala.
Is that counting up or counting down?
It's actually counting down. I was like 18-13 earlier this week. Excuse me, I was checking the weather and you were asking me where Nico Horner's from. Of course, I know he's from the East Bay. It says it's 75 degrees here at Stanford, but of course, here at Sunken Diamond in the first row, it feels like 90.
90?
This one Lifted to center. Easy play to be made there by DeLuca.
I don't know. I don't agree with you on that. 90. I think it feels like 105. If you're familiar with cell phones and iPhones, and I guess most people are because most people live in the digital age, but I got a message here a couple years ago I'd never seen before, leaving my cell phone in this front.
Oh, yeah, that it was too hot.
Yeah, the cell phone was physically too hot. It had to be removed, or I think it was going to melt, or I don't know. Apple representative was going to come and steal it? I don't know.
Maverick Hanley taking outside for ball one. Maverick on Thursday was 0 for 3 with a K. Yesterday, Hanley 0 for 4. Left 2 runners on base in his 2 plate appearances. That has dipped his batting average to 243. The 0-1 chopped to short. Patzlaff there. Throw is high. And Matthews unable to get his foot down in time, so E6 on the throwing error, and Hanley's over on first.
Yeah, one of the things that, it's been interesting. Oregon and Stanford have pretty similar profiles the last few years in terms of George Horton is known for teams with very good pitching and very good defense. Stanford's had very good pitching and very good defense. So it's kind of one of those things where who's going to blank first in terms of a series like this with the defense?
Well, Patzlaff, not exactly their everyday shortstop. He started in left field yesterday. On Thursday, Patzlaff was the DH. So kind of a shortstop, not exactly by committee. Ryan Nelson started there the first 2 days of this series and usually does get the starts at short, but Nelson not in there today. High and away, 1-0. So Nico Horner, 310 hitter on the season. And he takes low and away, 2-0.
Yeah, missed it arm side. Usually when you miss arm side like that, you're not coming through your pitch. You're not finishing your pitch. So let's see what he does here. 2-0.
Gets that one outside corner. Strike one, Colby Summers. You heard the particulars on Summers from Tim, the freshman from Hillsboro, Oregon. They recently had a minor league team go in there, the Hillsboro Hops. I'll say it's about 5 years old or so.
Yeah, it's in the Portland area. Very popular with the people in Portland because they lost their AAA team. They had a AAA team, but the stadium was overtaken.
2-1, sky to right. Goldfarb has a beat on it, makes the catch. And 2 away here in the first.
The Portland Timbers, Major League Soccer franchise, overtook PGE Park then. I think it's called Providence Park now.
Great supporting section there.
And, of course, you want your MLS Stanford connection. Foster Langsdorff signed a homegrown contract. He's made the 18 a couple times. I don't think he's made his MLS debut. Tomas Hilliard Arce with the LA Galaxy's in the 18 today in terms of Stanford soccer.
He and Zlatan.
Yeah, they're both on the bench. Right behind us, Kagan Stadium, the 3-time defending national champion.
And Jeremy Gunn, that's one of the most impressive coaching jobs in Stanford history. Dashbox swinging a miss. Strike one.
Drew Dashbach, I'm sure he grew up in the area. He came to a few Stanford football games. A lot of people thought he might play football, Division I, but he decided to play baseball. He's a player of the year. Sacred Heart Prep, they won a couple of state championships in Atherton.
Go Gators.
Do you know who their athletics director is?
Brett Simon, former Stanford men's soccer coach, the one before Jeremy Gunn.
How about this potential rivalry with Earl Kovalainen,
Kovalainen,
who a great guy. We're going to miss Earl here at Stanford, but he's got a great opportunity to be the athletics director of Menlo. Earl versus Brett.
They're right next to each other, those two schools.
Valparaiso Bowl is the football game that Dashbach played in a couple of times.
That's the name of the street that those schools are on. 1-2 the count to Dashbach. certainly some history there because Cobra Line oversaw men's soccer while Simon was the head coach. And Simon had some really nice years here on the farm. Great guy. Runner first, 2 down, 1-2 the count to the 286 hitting Dashbach. Takes it in the dirt on the run. A throw into center field, and that's going to allow Hanley to go to third. Throw not in time as Hanley slides in safely.
It's a stolen base
and a thrower on the catcher, Soderman, or they're still discussing whether it's going to be a wild pitch or a stolen base E2. Certainly a throwing error on Soderman.
Yeah, I think he was off. Stolen base E2 is going to be the call. Ooh.
But that'll do it for the first swing and a miss, strike 3, and Summers able to get out of it. So that will do it for the first. We are scoreless heading to the second on GoStanford.com. All right, top of the second. Couple of hits, couple of errors already for the Ducks, and an eventful both halves of the inning there for the Ducks. We are scoreless as we head to the second. The Ducks loaded the bases, so here's Kenyon Yovan, who skies one down the right field line. Long run over there for Stowers. He makes the catch on the foul line for the first out. A shout out to Kenyon's mother, who was watching us yesterday and got to hear the sweet notes of Jordan Watkins singing during the innings. He had incorrectly one inning turned the knob down for our headset instead of the master audio.
Ooh.
So he was blowing some notes. Pretty good singer. Johnny DeLuca now, 196 on the season. The center fielder looks at strike 1.
Is that you saying he was a good singer, or is that Jordan saying he was a good singer?
That's me giving him more credit than he probably deserves. It was an Atlanta Braves love fest, though, last night. This one lifted to center. Towel going to come in a couple of steps, and quickly 2 away in the top of the second. Of course, Jordan Watkins, former Stanford football player, defensive lineman, and grew up in the Atlanta area.
Rise up, Samuel L. Jackson will say. The big.
Yes. He is still sore about Super Bowl 51.
Oof.
Evan Williams, the number 9 hitter, left fielder, making his 21st start in left field this year. This is or I should say 22nd start, looking at the game notes to start. Yeah, no, 21st. He did not start and left yesterday. So 21st in 26 games now. As he looks at a 1-1 count. Taylor Travis started and left on Thursday. Yesterday it was Patzlaff and left. Here's the 1-1 and strike 2 taken. Williams thought that was ball 2. So the 1-2 on the way from Eric Miller, and it misses outside. Oregon will get a chance to celebrate Easter here in the Bay Area because they play at USF on Monday. It'll be a 3 p.m. start.
New Benedetti Diamonds. I think it's his second year.
2-2, just missing a tad high, maybe a little inside as well.
Stanford has not played there in a long, long time because they can only play day games. They don't have lights, residential neighborhood in the hilltop in San Francisco.
So the count is full here to Williams. And this one drilled deep down the left field line, and this one is just foul. Home run distance. Looked like it was going to stay fair for a while.
And, you know, the umpire is right on that line, the third base umpire, Eric Peterson, but these poles are, you know, very short compared to a major league pole.
Yes, they are.
It's very hard to tell. I think George Horton wants an explanation. From my vantage point, Kevin, I have no idea. I'll be honest with you.
I kind of lost the ball there.
I saw the ball come down. I don't know. I wouldn't have been shocked if it was called a home run. And they're going to talk about it. To be honest with you, I think that might have been a home run.
So we'll see. This could be a 1-0 ball game.
Sometimes the best view of that is the home plate umpire. And they're going to confirm foul.
Foul ball. Well, it will stay. So the count stays 3-2. Just a loud strike there. And we'll do it over at 3-2.
That one went way up into the trees, in case you are familiar with Sunken Diamond.
3-2 pitch fouled off right back to the screen. And Tim loading up the stream here.
You know, I'm not going to lie to you, Kevin. I wish you were Chris Fitzgerald because Chris is the umpiring expert.
Yes.
And Chris always has an opinion.
I have no opinion on that last play. The payoff pitch, it is low, ball 4. Second walk issued by Miller.
I thought about it before the game. You know, for Eric Miller, he has been excellent this season in terms of the peripherals. Is like they like to call it 27 strikeouts and 19 1/3. He's only given up 1 home run. So there's kind of 3 things that a pitcher can control 100%: strikeouts, walks, home runs. So the home runs and strikeouts are good, but the walks, I mean, it's just killing him. He has now 11 walks in 21 innings. It's just too many walks.
Yeah.
Especially the 9 batter.
And he's averaging about 5 walks per 9 innings. Somewhere in that area. And there's ball 1 to Kasser, a guy who he walked to lead off the game.
Yeah, and well, that's where I'm happy you're here, not Chris. Chris can't do math, and you are the math genius.
Here's some math for you. He entered with 10 walks on the season, walked in the first inning, so 10 plus 1 equals 11. I'd hope Chris could do that.
See ya.
Now caught in a pickle here as Williams trying to run back to first. I'm not going to try to guess what the scoring is going to be on this one, but Williams eventually tagged out as he was caught off the bag, and that's how the second inning will end.
Caught stealing 2. I'm showing the replay. 2, 3, 4, 3, 6. Did you get that?
For those scoring at home.
2, 3, 4,
3, 6.
And they're not your winning lotto numbers.
And that will take us to the bottom of the second. Don't go anywhere here on GoStanford.com.
See that? Did you guys have any opinion on the ball?
He said it was foul. I couldn't see the poles in my way.
I had no idea.
I know the umpire took a long time to call it.
Yeah, it was weird. Yeah.
We're back headed to the bottom half of the second inning. No score here.
Stowers will get us started here in the bottom of the second. Chop foul right behind home plate. 2 errors for the Ducks in the bottom of the first defensively.
In case you're wondering at home, we did poll the. We did an extensive poll.
Some thorough research
on that foul or fair call, and some people, even in Oregon Green, said they thought it was foul. So.
Yeah, the GoDucks.com editor, Rob Mosley, sitting next to us alongside Todd Miles, the SID for Oregon Athletics, who's on the call, replacing, I believe, Joey McMurray is their traditional play-by-play guy for Oregon baseball on Oregon IMG.
And is it called, is it green? Is it emerald green? Is it forest green? Is there a special green shade?
This one lifted in the center. It'll get down. A little Texas leaguer there for Kyle Stowers. So, a leadoff single. Well, you check the Oregon. I've seen some, a lot of Oregon notes over the years. I'm not sure these game notes have them, but I'm pretty sure I've seen some that just say green and yellow, or I've seen some that say thunder green and lightning yellow.
That second one sounds more Oregon.
So here's Will Matheson. Had a nice night at the plate. He went 3 for 4 in the 5-1 win. No, excuse me, 0 for 4. Bruiser went 3 for 4.
Stanford wear their black uniforms this weekend? Have they worn them?
They wore red yesterday. I was not here for Thursday.
I think Thursday was white.
I haven't seen the black unis.
Oh, come on. You haven't seen the black ones yet?
I have not.
They're the talk of the town.
Something that would not have happened under Mark Marquis. Here's the 1-0. Strike one taken. Hey, Dave Esker, he's a younger man. Esker graduating here in '87. Won a College World Series title. Also led Cal to the College World Series. The year it looked like their program would go down the drain.
That was 2011, right?
Yep. Strike taken inside corner.
It's amazing. I think opening day last year, maybe the year before, Cal had 12 major leaguers, which led everybody. They've had so many great Major League Baseball players under David Esker. A lot of guys that weren't big recruits.
Esker, a guy who can certainly develop talent. 1-2 to Matheson. A runner on first, Stowers. Did he go? Counts 2-2. Certainly looked like he held up. That was a signal I got from Tim Swartz as well.
Again, I'm not Chris Fitzgerald. I'm not a I'm not an umpiring expert, but I don't think he went.
If it's he umpires Little League, right? Does he still?
I don't know. Little League, Division I baseball.
He really is a renaissance man. This one chopped foul down the third base line.
His, other activities.
I mean, he wrestles, he plays poker, jiu-jitsu. He really has done it all. Of course, he is an Oregon Duck himself.
Let's see if anything's in action here. 2-2 counts. Jack Martyr, the former Oregon Ducks, the first base coach, he was looking in as well to David Esker, who gives the signals from the dugout. He's not the third base coach. A lot of managers will be third base coaches, but not David Esker.
Stowers 3 for 4 on stolen base attempts this year. He stays at first. That hit him. Just grazed the elbow, it looked like. Maybe the shirt. It's getting runners on first and second with nobody out.
Graze is a good word. I was going to say maybe it just nicked his elbow.
Either. That's also a good verb. Need to break out the Mike Emmerich sheet of verbs for the word pass. There's like 200 words on that sheet. So, Bruiser, here's the guy who went 3 for 4 yesterday. He was 1 for 8 on the season coming in. He upped his average to 4 for 12. Scored 2 runs in the 4-run victory last night as Summer steps off, fakes a toss back over to second. Nobody was covering.
I think of the Oregon uniform combinations, this is maybe the most conservative.
Yeah, kind of conservative gray uniforms last night.
I really liked a few years ago. I don't know if they still have them. I've not seen every uniform combination, but they had the pinstriped hats, which I thought were very, very sharp. Gray pinstriped hats.
Bruiser. Looking in. Fouls it off his foot.
Major League Baseball started on Thursday. How about Giancarlo Stanton, his first at-bat in Sky Dome, speaking of pinstripes and Yankee pinstripes.
2 home runs opening day.
That first ball he hit, I thought was going to be like a shallow fly ball to right field, to the opposite field, and it went to the halfway up the second deck.
Yeah, it was like 426 feet or something. It was, he murdered it.
Giants could have used him, but he did not want to come to San Francisco. Why not?
I wonder why.
Taxes?
I have a feeling he might not have been able to hit 59 home runs.
I mean, he's got a legitimate chance, I think, to hit 70 home runs this year.
No, I'm not going to disagree with you. As he would say, it would be the real home run record. Made that quote last year when he saw the real home run record as Roger Maris's 61.
And you know the first 2 guys all-time in that home run record, both Pac-12 guys.
Swing and a miss. Whoa, Bruisers.
That's a freshman moment.
Yeah. 0-2.
Number 1, Barry Lamar Bonds, Arizona State. Number 2, Big Mac, Mark McGuire, USC.
Fight on. Barry Lamar Bonds went to high school in San Mateo.
Sarah Padre went to Arizona State, was drafted out of high school by the Giants, but decided to go to ASU.
0-2 count to Bruiser. Swing and a miss, and that gets away from Soderman. That's going to allow the runners to move up 90 feet.
And Bruiser is out because the first base was taken.
So runners on second and third with 1 out.
So the idea, in case you're at home and you're wondering what is going on, drop third strike, you can advance to first as long as first is empty or unless there's 2 outs. With the idea of that, when you make it out at first base, you have to catch the ball, right? So to make it out of home plate, you have to catch the ball. That's a put-out. So the catcher will get credit for a put-out if they're able to catch the ball. Now, if let's just say hypothetically that the runners at first and second, the catcher could not catch the ball, not make the put-out for the third strike, and then throw it to third.
And there you go. Well, this is Bo Branton. Now up to 357 after his performance yesterday.
Their third is inside the grass. At first, Matthews is at the grass as well. Regular depth up the middle, so the ground ball to shortstop will score and run.
1-0 the count to Branton. Strike one taken. He was 2 for 3 with 2 RBI yesterday. Cardinal trailed 1-0 heading into the third before Branton had an RBI single. Also had the go-ahead RBI single in the fifth.
I had a radical baseball idea involving catchers and putouts.
Okay, let me hear it. The 1-1. Good long dramatic pause.
Let everyone get their notepads out and steal it from him. Why do you need, if there's nobody on base, you don't need a catcher until there's 2 strikes. So why not use that, have the catcher go out in the field somewhere, have the pitches come in. You know, you might piss off the umpire because you might kill the umpire, but you don't need a catcher.
That's an interesting, it would just be annoying that you have to go back to the backstop every time.
Yeah. That would be very, I mean, with 2 strikes you'd have to get the put out to catch the ball, but why not, if there's nobody on until there's 2 strikes, have the catcher in the field?
So, yeah, where would you put the catcher?
Depends on the scouting report.
Okay.
So we've seen all these weird shifts in Major League Baseball, and they've kind of started to trickle down to college baseball.
Counts 3-1 to Branton. And chops it to third. Nice diving play. They're going to throw home. And Spencer Steer, the diving grab, gets the throw home in time to tag out Stowers. So runners on first and second with 2 down.
Fielder's choice 5-2. That was a really excellent play by Steer. The issue, too, was that Stowers was not off with contact. He froze there for a half second. You don't really have a chance if you do that.
I'll bring up Jesse Kiewit, the last hope this inning for the Cardinal with 2 out.
Do you like my idea? Should I send it to Billy
I
Bean?
do like it a lot.
The issue will be you might get an umpire injured every game.
Yeah, I'm not sure the umpires will sign off on it. And then also, you talk about pace of play and how that's become a big thing. Well, having a ball roll all the way back to the backstop when nobody's on base, that certainly wouldn't help.
You know something? I just thought of why I can't do it.
Okay, why?
Oh, gosh. I felt so smart. I think it's a balk if the catcher is not in the catcher's box.
Really? Okay.
Or not, yeah. Or an automatic ball.
Curveball hit foul. 0-2. You were on to something that I'm sure, I guess probably if it wasn't a balk that we would have seen it tried before. Because why not have 10 fielders?
But it's funny, I was listening to...
or 9, excuse me.
The sports radio the other day, and they said, brilliant people, no one thought till Chip Kelly was at Oregon, why not run a hurry-up offense every single time you get the ball?
High and away.
It was always just the last 2 minutes, trying to come back. So I was trying to get my Chip Kelly, former Oregon head coach, on. Think about that.
Well, I thought we were on to something for a second.
And I know you're an A's fan, and I live in Oakland. I was going to write a note to Billy and hand it off.
1-2, just missing outside.
It's been interesting with the A's, with Dave Cavall, the Stanford grad, their new president.
Yeah, trying a bunch of different things. The name your price for the upper deck tickets.
Free parking Tuesdays?
Yeah, I've been to a game on Tuesday. Saw them play the Marlins last year. With the big cat, Kari Jones, and Troy Isha, Troy Brown.
I was there, too. Do you remember? You don't remember that?
Oh, that's right. You were there.
Wow.
Shows what kind of friend I am.
Yeah.
3-2.
Marlin, I was distraught that Marlins man wasn't there last year.
I know.
Marlins man is a free agent now, so
yeah, he is no longer Marlins, but he's not going to Marlins games.
So I don't know if we could try to get him to become Stanford man, Cardinal man. I don't know.
Not happy with the ownership, right? Or with
Derek Jeter. Yeah. I don't blame him. They stripped down the team again. It's like, how many times can you strip down the same team?
3-2. Hit right to Johnny DeLuca in center. And so the Cardinal had runners on second and third with one out, and they could not bring anybody home. We are scoreless heading to the top of the third. And with the play-by-play, when I return, it will not be me. It'll be Timothy Francis Swartz.
Nothing is the score. Top of the third inning. Eric Miller on the bump. Kyle Kasser in the box. Tim Swartz along with @Kevo408. If you want to follow his tweets, Kevin Dana. Ground ball down the first base line. Brewster was playing way off the line, and Kasser is going to get into second with a double. Well, it was odd that Kasser, who is a left-handed batter, was batting, and that Brewster, the first baseman, was way off of the line.
Yeah, Brewster certainly not hugging the line, and just pulled that one with ease. Easy double there for Kasser, who's now reached base safely his first two plate appearances.
So it's the rubber match of this series. Oregon and Stanford. Out of the stretch again for Miller. Strike called on the inside. It's 0-1 to Daniel Patslav, who struck out swinging in his first at-bat.
Yeah, 3 hits, 2 walks already for Miller, and 2+. But he's avoided any real damage thus far. See
Miller try to gain his composure from St. Louis, Missouri. Stanford has had some good pitchers over the years from St. Louis. My favorite was a right-handed pitcher by the name of Danny Sandbrink.
Oh, yeah.
He pitched with the Giants organization for a bit, but he used to have that pitch he explained to me once he called the funk pitch.
Okay.
It was like part cutter, part sinker, part splitter, part curveball. And they couldn't come up with a name for the pitch.
The funk.
Yeah, Zach Jones, who was the catcher, started calling it the funk. It's back in the 2011 team that went to the Supers. They're trying to make it back to Omaha. They have not been there since 2008. That slider just did not come around, and it's 1-2.
Of course, that was the year Fresno State won the College World Series title. Stanford, Senior Associate Athletic Director Brian Rizzo, of course, a proud Bulldog alum.
They
beat the SID department here.
And they beat a totally loaded Georgia team in the final in 3 games.
I want to say, isn't that who Stanford lost to?
Yeah, they lost in Georgia's side. Stanford missed the NCAA tournament that next year in 2009. Yes, ball misses off the inside.
And I want to say they didn't make it in 2007. I think 2007 was the year they were kind of kind of hovering around 500.
Did make it supers in 11 and 12 a lot on the bat of Stephen Piscotty, who is talking about the A's. He was traded from St. Louis, the home area of Eric Miller, to the Oakland A's. Part of the reason is his mom was sick, but that was a classy move by really a classy organization, but the best fans in baseball, the St. Louis Cardinals, to send him home. He was from San Ramon Valley, and we're excited to see Stephen with the Oakland A's. He's played some right fields. He started both games for the A's. Hashtag rooted in Oakland.
The only team left in a couple of years.
Change up low and away. Got through the legs of Hanley, but staying at second was Kasser. This game has certainly moved at a snail's pace. We're in the top of the third inning, and we are 50 minutes in, Kevin.
Yeah. Yesterday's game didn't move along at the quickest pace either.
Well, I've got a doubleheader today, Kevin. I've got men's volleyball at 5. It'll also be here on GoStanford.com pop-up. It's going to be a long run for Hanley, and it starts coming back towards home plate. Maverick Hanley makes the catch, a bluff from Kasser at second. And Petzlaff is finally out number 1.
Man, they said yesterday's game was just 2 hours and 57 minutes. I could have sworn we were still going at around 9:15. It's 3 hours and 12 minutes on Thursday night. And the longest thing I've ever sat through is the Titanic, 3 hours and 14 minutes. And besides a baseball game. Shout out to Tony Lima for watching us on GoStanford.com. Faithful fan.
We appreciate the tweets. Curveball's in there for a strike to the number 3 hitter, Spencer Steer, who popped out in foul territory to cue it in a big spot in that first inning. Yeah, Will Mathewson, he is right. He was recruited as a third baseman as well. He was, I think, the top-ranked third baseman in the state of Oregon. Went to Wesleyan High School. He's DHing today. Eric Miller on the bump. Lefty versus righty. That pitch misses, and that hits Steer in the foot. Well, you know what? That's not a terrible thing for Stanford.
Yeah, because that got away from Hanley.
As that ball shot to the right side. Now, of course, the other thing, too, though, is that, of course, it hit him in the foot, so that's why it went out to the right in a meeting at the mounds. So Gabe Matthews comes up, 292 hitter with 2 home runs and 13 RBI, 12 walks, and no action in the Stanford bullpen yet. It is an odd week coming up for Stanford. It's 5 games in 7 days.
And you don't play on Sunday. How often does that happen outside of Easter weekend? Probably
Not very
never.
often. It used to happen. The Pac-12 Network used to do that Thursday kind of game of the week, but I think they've ditched that.
Okay.
Not exactly sure.
Well, Tim was mentioning the Matheson getting recruited as a third baseman. We do appreciate the tweets, as Tony Lima reminding us. And you can follow us on Twitter at Kevo48, at Tim Swartz. And Tim's favorite soccer player, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, just scored his second goal of the game in his LA Galaxy debut.
Yeah, I'll tell you this one. I'm monitoring LA Galaxy because Tomas Hilliard Arce, his second overall pick of the MLS Super Draft. He has been in the 18. He has not played yet for Galaxy. Hoping to see his debut soon. One of the many Stanford athletes you can follow. Be a lot of fun, too. This upcoming week, minor league baseball will start, and there's a lot of Stanford players in minor leagues. I think the one I'm looking forward to most this year is Cal Quantrill. Lefty on lefty. Gabe Matthews is 1-for-1 with a single, and it's 0-1. Good off-speed pitch to start him out with. Any guys you're looking forward to? Any former Stanford baseball players this year, Kevo?
in in the major leagues.
And minors, majors. I think Tyler Gaffney, I think, is going back to the Pirates. He is left in the NFL.
Yeah, I'm definitely curious to see what Tyler's able to do. You know, had 10 guys drafted last year. That was a Stanford modern era record.
How about Matt Winokur and Quinn Brody, both getting drafted by the Mets? They both could be in Port St. Lucie, the Florida State League.
Colton Hawk going to the Miami Marlins. And with all the upheaval there, who knows, right? Andrew Somerville going to St. Louis.
Chris Castellanos went to Seattle.
And Keith Weisenberg going to my Braves. So
your Braves.
Indeed. 14th rounder.
Brent Hanowich was a 9th rounder with the Los Angeles baseball team of Anaheim, located in Orange County in Southern California in the United States.
On the Western Hemisphere, on the planet Earth, in the solar system with 8 planets, not 9. Pluto not a planet.
There's the first and second. 2-1 count, 1 out. Top of the 3rd inning. You're watching Stanford baseball? We think. This one's rolled to the right side. Brayton, the second for 1. It's going to be tough at first. The throw is in time. 4-6-3 double play.
Good turn by Herner at short.
Nice job by Nico. And Stanford gets out of a jam. Well, both teams have had chances. Oregon's left 4 on base. Stanford's left 3. We're in the bottom of the 3rd, and we still have no score. Welcome back to Stanford, another gorgeous day. Tim Swartz along with Kevin Dana, your Stanford broadcasters. He's taking a page from John Miller. Tawa's bunt is foul, the leadoff batter.
What does he say? Your San Francisco Giants, bro?
This is John Miller with Dave Fleming, your Giants broadcasters. John Miller, to me, don't take it personally if you're from Los Angeles, but I think John Miller might be the best radio broadcaster in the history of baseball. I love listening to him. You're
going to put him above Vince Scully.
Yes, absolutely. The reason being, Vince Scully, I mean, obviously Vince Scully's great, but it's a lot of stories. It's a lot of, it's very serious. John Miller is joking around. He's making that game, like last year, the Giants were 20 games under 500 in August, and Cincinnati makes that game fun to listen to. And, of course, Dave Fleming. This one is lined into left center field for a base hit. Tawa rounds first, and he's at first with a single.
Make him 1 for 2. I always love listening to John Miller. I'm not even a Giants fan. He and Dave, I will say, the Giants, I think, do have the best broadcasting crew, TV and radio, the combination. I listen to a lot of baseball on Sirius XM, and they definitely have my vote.
Dave got his baseball start here at Stanford with KZSU. Was part of those mid-'90s teams he was working with. Stanford went to Omaha a lot of those seasons.
He's class of 98.
But over to first in there easily is Tawa.
I couldn't tell you his name, but there was another KZSU guy who broadcast for the Astros.
Dave Raymond.
There you go.
I don't think he's with the Astros anymore.
He is not.
Chris Atterbury with the Twins, former Stanford guy. Stanford not only in the big leagues playing, but with some broadcasters. Throw to first is in plenty of time. Tawa gets the second and a sacrifice bunt. It'll be scored 5-3 from Maverick Hanley.
And Stanford broadcasting also in the minor leagues as well. Potomac Nationals.
Now the Pawtucket Red Sox, Will Fleming, who is an ardent follower of Stanford baseball still. Here's Nico Horner. It's been interesting, too, to kind of follow the career of Drew Storen, who has bounced around a little bit. He was drafted 10th overall by the Nationals in 2009. With the Toronto, Cincinnati, Seattle over his career. He's trying to come back and finish his major. Now, the problem he had was he was an industrial design major, so it wasn't like there were certain classes he could never take because it was during baseball season. No, he's very interested in broadcasting. His dad's a broadcaster. Storen is out for this year. Got Tommy John surgery. Cincinnati last year. Pitch is low and away, and it's 2-0. We were talking about guys that have made a lot of money, maybe were average pitchers. One of the great stories from Dean Stotts and one of his great points was about former Stanford pitcher Jeremy Guthrie, who pitched with the Royals. He signed a kind of a controversial deal with the Royals. He signed, I think, like a 5-year or 3-year, a $27 million deal with the Royals. A year after, with Baltimore, he had a 4.33 ERA and the league in losses was 17. But the point that Dean had made was the previous 4 years, 190, 200, 209, 208 innings pitched for Jeremy. And he went 211, 202 in his first 2 years in Kansas City in terms of innings pitched. As Horner lines this ball foul down the left field line. But the overall point from Dean was the value in having a guy who eats up innings even at a major league average rate or an ERA plus that's below average. The career ERA for Jeremy Guthrie is 4.2, which is, according to his ERA plus, about average, is tremendous. You can make a lot of money if you just throw 200 innings in your average. And that was the point by the Dean of Stats, Mr. Dean Stotts, the former associate head coach here. He's jumped on broadcast with us a few times.
Now involved the Pac-12 Network's rotation for baseball.
One thing you don't have to worry about if you're broadcasting a game with Dean is yourself talking.
Yeah.
Because Dean has, I mean, we were talking about Mark McGuire and Barry Bonds, and he has, I mean, that was 15 years into his coaching career. I mean, he has stories about everybody who's ever played in the Pac-12. Talking about Randy Johnson, the first time he saw him, he was like, this guy real? Is a 6'11" guy who throws 97, 98? 2-1 pitch. Strike in there to Nico Horner.
Every now and then you'll see that pitch come up on Twitter or something when he exploded a dub.
I think the anniversary was 15 years ago this year, about 2 weeks ago.
It's incredible. Just vaporized a bird.
Jeremy Guthrie, of course, part of the 2015 world champion Kansas City Royals. Can you believe that? The Royals won a world championship?
I never thought I'd see them go to the playoffs again. Back-to-back World Series appearances.
2-2 would roll to the left side. They're going to try to go to third, and he's in there. Tawa beats the throw. Not a great idea by Patslav with one out in the inning.
Yeah, you see a guy who doesn't start every day at short in Patslav, and this is just his second start at short this season, and he threw it a little bit behind the runner, and that forced the third baseman Steer to have to reach around and try to apply the tag, and now you got runners on the corners with one out.
To me, the difference between having a runner at third and 2 outs and runners at first and third and 1 out, or a runner at third and 2 outs, and a runner at first and 2 out. It's just, to me, it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
It's just not, and it was going to be a close play the whole way. And a lot of credit to Tawa, who was off immediately, did not hesitate. Kevin and I continue to roast and marinate here in the sun as Andrew Dashbach comes up with runners at the corners. And he rips this ball, and it's a diving catch by Steer at third.
Steer's had a couple of really nice plays today. Had a diving stop on a chopper to the 5.5 hole, and then this one, I mean, that saves a run right there.
Remember that play Kevin was mentioning? Branton hit one to the 5.5 hole between shortstop and third. A diving stop by Steer, who then threw out Stowers at home, and then that line drive saved another run. So he saved at least 2 runs today, maybe more.
Yeah, that had the potential to be a 2-run double there.
Yeah, I mean, because that first play saved at least 1 run. That saved at least 1 run, Kevin. It could have been 2. It could be, if you continue an inning and you don't get an out, it could be 3, 4 runs. Steer at third base has been the player of the game through 2 2/3.
Your GoStanford.com player of the game on the other side.
Strike on the outside. Now that is through 2 2/3 innings, Kevin. So.
I guess other stuff could happen in the final 2/3 of this game.
Hour and 6 in.
For a game that is scoreless.
This is a volleyball match at 5, Kevin. I'm nervous. I might miss the match.
Yeah.
You may have to go solo, either way.
I'm not sure the fans would like that very much.
Off goes runner at first, and a fake of a throw to second. So stolen base for Horner. Good idea, too, I think, by Stowers to take that pitch. He needs his second strike, but it is worth it in terms of getting that extra runner in scoring position. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, at Tim Swartz, SWARTZ for the last name, at Kevo, KOEVO 408 on Twitter. We will read your tweets live. This pitch gets away. At least 1 run will score. Here comes Tawa. It did bounce right back to Soderman, but that's how Stanford gets on the board. A wild pitch.
Now we're trying to see the replay here. I'm not quite sure if that hit the plate, jumped
I think it hit
over.
right in front. Yeah, but and I said just 1 run because there's so much foul space.
Yeah.
That did not take a bounce right back to Soderman with the jump at second that Horner got. It could have scored 2.
It easily could have.
Well, that helps. Stanford leads 1-0. Stowers fouls it back. I mean, we have seen guys go from first to third here at Sunken Diamond, from second to home. It can happen. Anything can happen.
It's like that little kid from Angels in the Outfield. Hey, it can happen. I forget his JP, right?
Yeah, which was shot in Oakland at the
It was?
Coliseum, yeah. People forget that.
It's a good people forget that.
Fouled down the first base line. Jack Martyr, the first base coach, played at Oregon. He was part of I think that first team back at Oregon. Was it 2011? 2010, the first team back at Oregon?
2009.
2009.
They made the postseason in their second year.
He was there, 2009 and 2011. Touched my first instincts. Swing and a miss from Stowers. That was in the dirt, so Soderman has had to throw it to first. Now that's with a situation where you do have to throw it to first. Well, Stanford got a break after that bad break on the diving catch. 1-0. Stanford leads Oregon after 3. Well, we continue on to the fourth inning on GoStanford.com. Thanks for joining us online. I think is this a Twitter game as well, Kevin? You know more.
I think it's Pac-12 Plus.
So hello to Twitter and all of our friends on Twitter.com. Here's the catcher, Ray Soderman. Is it on Pac-12 Plus? This one's rolled, foul down the third base line. A late call from Eric Peterson has been busy.
George Horton's going to come out and say, how can that not be fair? You're standing on the line and you had to jump over it. That makes sense. If the ball was curling to the left, field corner as it was, as it hit the screen back behind up the line there, you would think it had some type of
1-0, Stanford leads Oregon on a wild pitch.
maybe 10 feet behind the bag. If it was foul by inches. There's the 0-2 to Soderman.
Swing and a miss. The pitch in the dirt. Throw over to first is in time when there's one out, and that was the second strikeout of the game for Eric Miller. Kevin has left us for a moment. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, well, Kari Jones continues to throw pens at me from behind me.
Well, he is the executive producer, so he can do whatever he wants. And I'm not going to.
An abuse of power, if you ask me.
And he approves our time card. So, Kari, do whatever you want. Kari Jones here for his, I think, 1,000th Stanford baseball game.
Yeah.
First
Conservative estimate.
Coldfarb takes the first pitch for a ball. He came up with the bases loaded in the first inning, but flew out to Tawa in center to end the inning. Well, finally, maybe Eric Miller can get into the rhythm because he hasn't got the pitch out of the windup much. Very nice fastball on the
Strike one
outside.
taken. Now here's a legitimate question: who's been in more Stanford baseball games, Kari Jones or Matty Ritson?
Matty.
Yeah. How long has Matty been around the program?
I don't know. Long time.
Because I remember there's that Cal Stanford baseball brawl where Matty, I remember there's video of Matty getting into the middle of it.
He broke it up or he incited it.
He didn't incite it, but I'm not sure he was trying to break it up.
2-2 the count.
Just trying to have his guys' backs.
Hard-nosed, lunch pail type guy.
Definitely. Now there's a guy who just tries to go 1-0 every day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this was a conversation Jordan and I were having. What is your favorite sports cliche?
Ooh, that's a good one. 2-2. Popped shallow left field. Dashbach has it. Did not have to move. That's perfect scouting. There's 2 outs. I don't know. Maybe I like lunch pail. I really do. What about you?
I like for football doing your 111th.
Doing your 111. Trevor Bauer, the old pitcher for UCLA, he had his idea was the .00273 club. you know the significance behind .00273.
Well, I'm looking at your computer, so I know that it's 1 divided by 365. So
his
one
idea
day at a time.
That you get 0.0027% better every day. You'll be 100% better in a year. Trevor Bauer had a game where he struck out 15. I remember that game. It was very memorable.
Yeah.
1-0 count. Fouled off to the right, and it's 1-1. It's interesting, too. So UCLA in 2011, if you're not familiar with the Pac-12, they had Garrett Cole, who was the #1 overall pick, and they had Trevor Bauer as the 3rd overall pick. They did not win the national championship. They came back in 2012. Guess what they did?
They won the national championship. And then Arizona won the next year.
Yeah, so Oregon State in the last 10 years won a national championship.
They won back-to-back in the mid-2000s. Then Fresno State, not Pac-12, but another West Coast program. How about Coastal Carolina, though, a couple of years back?
The Chanticleers out of Myrtle Beach.
The Chanticleers.
Oh, the Chanticleers.
Yeah. Excuse you.
Sorry. My fault.
You got to get your low major nicknames right.
Curveball. Ooh. Okay.
I was ready to ring him up here.
Guess they're going to call it high. Looking at places around the country, big shout out to John Karsich, assistant coach.
Yes.
Rusty Filter, who were at Stanford for a few years. They have Santa Clara. Last time I saw it, 13-5. This one's fouled off to the right.
Yeah, I'm going to take a look at their schedule right now.
And I looked it up. Santa Clara has not had a winning record for about 10 years. And it hasn't been close a lot of those years. But Rusty, who was the pitching coach here for years, and John, who was the hitting coach last year and an assistant for a few years before that.
15-9, 4-4 in conference coming in to action today. And they are hosting Portland.
And a big shout out to them. Stanford will be at Santa Clara on Tuesday.
Hopefully everyone's all right in the stands. There was a lot of pace behind that one. Unfortunately, the Fighting Filters are trailing 4-0 in the top of the 6th.
So Stanford will go to Santa Clara this week, and then on a Tuesday, May 8th, Stanford will host Santa Clara. Stanford has not lost a Tuesday home game since, here's the 2-2, out with a fastball, Santa Clara back in 2014.
That's quite the streak. Now, is Tuesday home game a designation for any midweek home game, or just on the day of Tuesday?
Did I not? Kevin, Tuesday home game.
Yeah, but like a Tuesday game, it signifies a non-weekend game. I know I'm kind of making
There's the third walk from Miller.
A technicality here, but you know what I mean. Like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday games are all kind of the same. They're bullpen days, or if you have that, it's a midweek game, essentially.
Yeah, I think one of the big strengths for Stanford this year has been their freshman, Brendan Beck, who's become the Tuesday starter with a 1.25 ERA.
Yeah, how about that? Tristan's younger bro.
Outplaying him, outpitching him.
Yeah.
Line drive into center field for a base hit for DeLuca. That's the 4th hit for the Ducks. Runners at first and second with 2 outs.
2-out rally at the bottom of the order here for Oregon.
Now, in fairness to Tristan, he's having to face the Friday games, which is, Texas, Fullerton, and Brendan is pitching more against the, as you like to call, low major schools. But still, I mean, come on, a 1.25 ERA your freshman year through 5 starts.
You will take that.
I always tell people, you don't know how hard it is to be a freshman in college baseball. Go take a look at Mark Appel's freshman year. He had a 5.2 ERA. He ended up being the number 1 overall pick. Evan Williams, the number 9 batter's up, batting 146. Walked, but then was caught stealing in the 2nd inning.
I remember a hotshot Vanderbilt freshman pitcher who came in here, Tyler Beta, who was a first-round pick, decided to go to Vanderbilt. I think he was like 20th overall out of high school. And his ERA certainly wasn't anything to write home about his first year at Vanderbilt.
He got ripped, and he ended up becoming, again, a first-round pick with the Giants, and he is in Fresno, I think. It's hard to keep track of the Giants starting pitchers with Samardzija being hurt.
Yeah.
Bumgarner being hurt. How about the Giants won their first 2 games 1-0?
Yeah, with Panic hitting a home run in each game.
That is the first time in Major League history that a team has started the year with 2 1-0 wins. And I think it's the second time in Major League history a team won 2 straight 1-0 games with a home run from the same player winning both games. Pitch is high, and the count is 1-0.
It's amazing for as long as Major League Baseball has been around how something new seemingly happens every day, or is a regular occurrence that something new happens that hasn't happened before in the history of Major League Baseball.
The Giants are on pace to score 162 runs, give up none, go 162-0. I'll give you odds on that. You want to take one? With Joe Panic setting a Major League Baseball record with 162
If that happens, I will pay the mortgage on your and Jen's first house.
We got to make sure the car is reporting this broadcast. Tyler Beatty, he was also known in high school for being a rapper.
Yeah, young Beta. I remember looking his stuff up. Can't remember if I enjoyed it or not.
You are a rap enthusiast, a former rap show host, and I'm not joking.
408's finest.
He did not make the Major League roster. I think maybe Derek Holland made it over him. Tony Watson.
Arizona State looking to avoid the sweep at Wazoo. They're ahead 4-0 in the bottom of the 8th. Top 4, Arizona on top of Nichols, 6-2. Bottom 1, no score at Cal between Cal and UCLA. Washington.
So 2-0 counts. Williams is up.
It's been a struggle for the Beavers in Utah. Here we go. Williams ahead 2-0 in the count. Miller checks. Yovan at second. Pitch on the way. That one
Pop up.
fly up and out of play.
Foul territory. Hanley gives chase and ends up in row about 10 and then bounces out towards the parking lot. I think Alex Blandino, he is close to making the majors. He spent a lot of last year with AAA. You like to say it, that town that's in Kentucky that Stanford just lost to women's basketball?
Oh, yeah. Lexington?
No. Who do they lose to?
Oh, excuse me. Sorry. Louisville.
Louisville Cardinals.
Louisville.
This one's fouled off, and it's 0-2 playing for the Louisville Bats. He had 270 last year. So I think
St. Francis' finest.
Yeah, St. Francis Lancer. Alex was a first-round pick. I think he will. Again, I'm not a betting man, but if I were, I'd say that he might make the Reds this year. We'll see. He didn't make them out of camp, but maybe make it to Cincinnati, the Great American Ballpark, at some point. High pitch to Williams in a full count. Runners will be off at first and second. Top of the 4th inning. Stanford leads 1-0.
I remember Alex's freshman year, kind of his breakout series against Arizona State right here. He had something like 3 home runs in a couple of games, 7, 8 RBI. I want to say he was I think it was then Pac-10 Player of the Week. Kind of getting my years crossed up, but
I think 2011 was the last year, as this one is hit into right field. It's hit shallow. Stowers started back. Now he comes in, and Kyle makes the catch. 1 hit, 2 more left on for the Ducks, who have left 6 on base through 4. Bottom of the 4th coming up. Stanford 1, Ducks nada. Former West Lynn player from Oregon in the Portland area, Will Matheson. Along with Kevin Dana, we are getting our tan on today.
Yeah, I'm glad. Do you want to use my sunscreen?
I probably should for my future health of my skin.
Yeah, I'm very sensitive. My family, skin cancer runs in the fam, so I got to make sure I have it everywhere I go.
We're talking about Major League Baseball, guys, as Matheson fouls it off in the Giants. Austin Slater, I feel so bad for – you don't want to say you feel bad for – but Austin Slater got off to such a great start last year for San Francisco. Hit 282, 34 games, then he got hurt. And he's still getting back to 100%. He's on the 40-man roster. Didn't make the Giants, but he had a chance last year to get a ton of at-bats with all those injuries to San Francisco, and I think Austin Slater is a major league player. But maybe squeezed out of that outfield with Andrew McCutchen, Austin Jackson signed. 1-2 to Will Matheson. Austin Slater was a 8th-round pick in 2014. I tell people one of the ways you can measure how good a team is is how much playing time a guy gets. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss, strike out of Matheson, and there's a 1 out. Stanford is ranked 3 right now. That is the highest Stanford's been ranked since they were number 1 in 2012, right? And that 2012 team had Stephen Piscotty, Mark Appel, Brett Mooneyham, all these guys that were top 100 picks in first round and picks. But Austin Slater on that team got like 2 at-bats.
Yeah.
And he played in Major League Baseball.
It's unbelievable.
The talent on that team. And maybe, 6 years from now we'll look back at the talent on this team and say, well, Nick Bruiser didn't start for the most of the year, and now he's a starter. So he takes the first pitch low. Yeah. Remember Alex Blandino, he didn't start in 2012 until halfway through the year. And Alex Blandino was so good that Stanford moved Stephen Piscotty off of third. They moved him into left and put Blandino into third.
Yeah, it's some of those guys that I love watching on that team. Brian Reguera, Austin Wilson. I mean, they just had guys up and down the lineup.
This is, I think, Stanford did go to that super back in Indiana. This one is lined into right center field. It'll hang up, though. And the catch is made in center field by DeLuca. And I know it's hard to say in that team that went to the Supers, I think in 2014, that won in Indiana against that Indiana team that had a guy by the name of Kyle Schwarber on it.
Yeah, not a bad player.
And they lost in 3 in the Supers to Vanderbilt, ended up winning the national championship. That was a very good team, but I do think this Stanford team is the best team since that 2011 team.
I would agree. I mean, the pitching off the charts. You mentioned Schwarber. He lost like 20 pounds. Looks like a different player.
Looks pretty good.
Saw him opening day against the Marlins.
This one is drilled by Branton, deep left center field, but it'll stay in the ballpark. And a 1-2-3 inning.
How about that?
That's the first of the game. So Stanford, after 4, leads 1-0. A bit surprising as we end up starting the top of the 4th inning. It's Jacob Palich who is on the bump for Stanford, and the day is over for Eric Miller. It's really surprising to me, at least, Kevin.
Yeah, I mean, you take a look at Miller's pitch count. He was at 73 through 4 innings.
It's a hot day. He struggled to throw strikes. I'll say this. David Esker.
They don't do a good job of letting me know here. I got headsets on. I can't hear him when he talks. It's Jacob Palish, a 6'5",
1-0 count.
freshman from Richardson, Texas. I thought he was a junior college guy, but it says Jesuit College Prep.
Kyle Kasser comes up. There has been a pitching change, Kevin.
Yeah.
Some of our friends at Oregon, I don't think, heard it, and you might have heard that on our broadcast. Rolled over to the left side. It's just foul.
Yeah, the particulars on Palace. This is his 11th appearance of the season. 1-0 with a 0.54 ERA. Has a save, 16 2/3 innings pitched, 8 hits, 1 run. It has earned 4 walks against 13 strikeouts. Has just given up 1 extra base this year. 1 wild pitch. Opponents hitting 140 against the lefty.
Woo! A lot of those out there. Opponents coming into today, we're batting 199 against Stanford.
Yeah, no bueno for the other teams.
As we like to say, that is the opposite of good.
Below the Mendoza line.
You ever hear music at the ballpark and just like I was like instinctively reaching. I wish I had some peanuts right now. There's a line drive, base hit in the left center field. Tawa is able to cut it off. That is a very good throw as well from the freshman. Man, well, that's one of those throws too. That Oregon's going to come here again, and they'll play in PK Park next year. And George Horton's going to tell his team, "Do not run on that guy."
Yes, that is very true. I mean, that throw was about belt high to second base.
A seed, if you will. Well, Oregon gets another on base.
5th hit already.
3 walks as well. The thing is, too,
And
is
a
Miller,
hit batter.
this is the 3rd time through the lineup, so maybe that was part of the equation from David Esker. I'll say this. I spoke with David Esker before the season about this. I said, what's going to be different with you and Mark Mark? We said a lot of it will be the same, but you'll notice different things. Kind of didn't really get into this very, very specific things, but kind of the point was, hey, I was assistant coach. I played for him. So there are going to be things that are very much the same, but there are things that are different. And I think today pulling Miller is kind of a different move that we were used to from Mark Marquis.
Yeah, he would let his starters go. I remember Mark Appel had that one outing where he threw 144 pitches.
Well, other things, too. We've seen Stanford a little bit more active on the base pass. Now, Stanford has a little bit more athletic team they have in previous years, but those are some of the minor differences between Mark Marquis and David Esker. David Esker is, I don't know what's going on everywhere in college baseball. There's a bunt down the first baseline. They're going to let it roll foul. 1-1, but I would assume, again, I don't write for Division I baseball, D1baseball.com, but he's got to be in the short conversation for national.
Has to be. Oh, this is a big transition, even though he did play and coach for 9. Hey, this is your first new head coach of Stanford baseball in more than 4 decades. And not only have they stayed the course, this program through 22 games, new horizons here.
Keep in mind, Stanford was picked second in the Pac-12. They were a preseason top 25 team. And picked second in the Pac-12 is basically winning the league in any other league because Oregon State is the #1 team in the country. No one's, I think, debating that. But to do what he's done this year so far, there's a lot of season left. Just turning the page to April tomorrow. But it's been incredible.
Yeah, the first 40% of the season has gone swimmingly.
That is a fair ball. Great throw to second by Hanley, and it's picked out by Nico Horner.
What a play by Nico. Heads up play by Hanley to immediately realize that he could get the force out at second, and then Horner to make the stretch diving stop, make sure that didn't go into center field. Could have easily, if it was worse glove work, could easily have runners on the corners with nobody out.
Well, I'm going to say that first. I mean, that was a great play, as Kevin was describing, by Nico. A great play by Hanley. That was just a tremendous baseball play. And it matters a lot because it is a 1-run game. Maybe a 2-run game you might throw to first, but that's where the baseball IQ of Maverick Hanley comes into play. Jumped up. Nice to play catcher. a long, long, long time ago. And very long time ago. And that is not easy to do, to jump out of your stance and barehand the ball. You cannot glove that ball. You have to barehand it.
Do you remember your baseball number?
9.
Ah.
Matt Williams.
Mark Marquis, of course.
Big fan of Matt Williams growing up. Ted Williams, Roger Maris, some famous 9s.
The real home run king, Roger Maris, if you ask some people.
Of course, Mark Marquis. They had that 9 flag they put up last year. I don't see it anymore. But and again, correct me if I'm wrong. This one is popped up in the left field. It'll stay in the ballpark as that continued to carry to the warning track. And Dashbox able to collect it for out number 2. But Stanford retired 9, and I don't think there's a retired number in the history of Stanford athletics. I think that is the first number that's ever been retired.
Yeah, okay.
Because football,
yeah,
they didn't retire 7 for Elway. They're never going to retire 7 for anybody.
Yeah.
Another famous number 7 after him.
Toby Gerhart.
A lot of people thought Toby was a better baseball prospect.
Yeah, he was quite the player here.
It's weird. We haven't had a two-way player in a while. 3 or 4 years after there was Toby, Tyler Gaffney, one of our favorites. Best of luck to Gaff. I think he's joining the Pirates organization again.
Zach Hoffpower.
Well, I believe Zach's going back to baseball as well. Right?
Yeah, I think I heard that.
Zach kind of did the Tyler plan where he played baseball here 3 years, signed, then came back and played an extra year of football. It was Tyler Gaffney did return to baseball. Loved watching him play. Great eye. He had well over a 400 on base percentage. He played that short season with the State College in the New York Penn League for the Pirates organization, and he had well over a 400 on base percentage.
Also a great addition to the GoStanford.com broadcast, Tyler.
This one's rolled over the right side. Easy play at first base for Branton. And Stanford gets out of a little bit of a jam with that leadoff single. And Oregon, guess what? Leaves a runner on base. 7 left on for the Ducks. In the bottom of the 5th coming up, it's 1-0 Stanford. Jesse Kiewit is the batter for the Stanford Cardinal. Not the Cardinals.
Like some people think, still in the media world.
Fake news. Never believe the media. Except for GoStanford.com.
The only trusted media source.
Here's the first pitch on the way. It's a strike in there, and it's 0-1.
I will say the most egregious one I saw was when Stanford was playing St. John's women's basketball NCAA tournament 2011. The St. John's game notes had the St. John's Red Storm versus the Stanford Cardinals with an S. And you'd figure, as a fellow non-S ending mascot school like St. John's, the Red Storm, that they would get it right.
Hard throw, and not even a throw going to come. Good idea by Patzlaff as Kiewit.
Yeah, that's got to be a hit.
Infield single, but I think it's a good idea by Patzlaff. You were not going to get Kiewit the way he runs. Top of the order to Tim Tawa. I was going to say, Kevin, I didn't tell you, but if you were listening, of course everybody was listening on GoStanford.com to our audio stream of women's basketball this year, but I was getting a little gun-shy when Stanford played Louisville.
Okay.
Cardinal versus the Cardinals.
Yeah. I think the knee-jerk reaction for any Cardinal fan is to scream when you hear somebody say Cardinals, but they were playing the Cardinals.
And I was making sure here's an offensive timeout. There's another thing that I never saw Mark Marquis do, and I did not see all 38, 40 years of Mark Marquis, but we've been broadcasting here since 2010. I never saw Mark Marquis call an offensive timeout, but David Esker will.
Yeah. The minor differences you'll pick up.
And I'll say no one did an umpires meeting like Mark Marquis.
Oh, man. He let you know it was 3:35 down both foul lines, what the power alleys were like. He made sure you knew all the particulars, the dimensions, what have you.
One of the things I always appreciate about Nine was when we would talk to him before a game, anything that you'd ever thought of, like anything about RPI or lineups or righty-lefty matchups, as Kiewit's back to first, he had probably thought about that for 35 years.
Yeah.
Like
exactly.
I was talking about RPI once, about the advantages that Southern teams have because they face a lot of Northeast teams that come down for spring break or come down for weeks because you just can't play baseball Northeast. And he was saying the imbalance, the 1 year where the Pac-12 did not have one team host a regional. They didn't have one West Coast regional. And he said one of the reasons why is the RPI is all skewed to the teams in the South who beat these teams in the Northeast who get better as the year goes on. It's fouled back, and the reason the RPI is skewed is that you might beat a team in sweep that hasn't got the practice outside who ends up winning a ton of games late, right? So that team's RPI is going to be a lot higher than the team that you face. You get credit for beating a top 100 team when you're really beating like at the time, maybe a 200 to 250 team.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Whereas Stanford starts out with Rice, Fullerton,
Texas,
Vanderbilt, teams that get to practice. Throw over to first while Kevin and I continue to marinate. We're past, first of all, you roast. You roast the turkey.
Yeah.
Then you marinate it. And we are a couple of turkeys.
Just about ready to be served up.
There used to be a fan down here.
There it is.
What happened to it? Tawa bunt down the first baseline. The first baseman slipped, and Tawa is just late as Matthews was able to regain his footing. And a good job by the pitcher Summers to get the throw over there in time. Kiewit does get to second, so sacrifice 1-3, and there's one away. What happened to that fan?
That was the million-dollar question.
It was a giant fan, and if you're ever kind of in a situation like we are where you've got a table and it's really hot and the sun's beating down on you, put the fan underneath the table because that blows out all of the hot air.
I did not know that tip.
And it'll get in your face. Maverick Hanley's up.
There's a little breeze going right now. I can live with a little more of this.
But yeah, the point being, what happened to that fan?
Kari took it.
He's in the second row, which is, we're not exaggerating, the second row of the press box is 35 degrees cooler.
It really is a much more comfortable seat.
Kari has offered us, Kari Jones, our director, to go up there.
And we haven't taken him up on it.
I can't because of my journalistic integrity. I'm not able to see the whole field. We are fair and balanced.
It's like Fox News, right? That's the old tagline.
Yeah.
Fair and balanced.
So it's tipped into the glove. Soderman, and it's 0-1 to Hanley. Fielder's choice and a sacrifice bunt. Big hole on the right side. Second baseman is pinched in towards second. Hanley's going the other way, and it's fouled off.
Yeah, big opening in between first and second. Try to slap that through into right field. Try to make this a 2-0 game.
Outside of the plate, take that ball late. Here's my free hitting lesson.
Tim Swartz hitting Clint. Maybe just
That's
a little bit cheaper than Fred McGriff's training videos.
Yeah, that's the one where I pay you. You don't pay me. Stanford has great baseball camps. Go Stanford.com for more information. I will not be coaching at them, thank God. For your kids, that one's fouled off to the right.
Probably shouldn't mention that we used to broadcast those games on Go to Stanford.com.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
Never happened. Must have been a different lifetime or alternate universe.
Great song by Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Alternate universe?
Oh yeah, you gotta download.
I love
that.
Red Hot Chili Peppers. I haven't heard that song.
Yeah, it's on Californication. It's kind of a deep track though, for real fans like me. Runner at second, high and away with a fastball. I don't know, surprised is the right word, but Summers keeps kind of throwing him outside pitches, and that's outside is right side is open. It's one of the best things I was always told about that Atlanta pitching staff with Maddox, Glavine, and Smoltz. They used to always pitch their defense.
Yeah. I mean, Maddox wasn't a big strikeout guy. Those staffs were the best.
2-2. 3 Hall of Famers on one staff.
Steve Avery, if you go back to the early 90s, great lefty they had.
One of the conversations I always like is who's the best free agent signing of all time? A lot of people say Barry Bonds. Greg Maddux is in that conversation. Cubs let him go, and the Braves signed him.
Part of that World Series winning team in '95.
Swing and a miss to the changeup. High changeup, which is a dangerous pitch to get away with, and there's 2 outs. Guy that was here for a game a couple years ago while he was suspended. A-Rod, one of the best free agent signings of all time.
Oh, yeah.
He's a broadcaster. He's in the club, the broadcast club.
He made some friends here on the farm.
Very nice. When I went down and talked to him, I said a kind of a bad thing about Bud Selig, and he laughed and said, "Hey, what can I do?" Now, that was on opening day. He did the Giants game, and there was kind of a lot of things on Twitter about J-Lo came up to the booth. So, I don't know, is Salma Hayek coming up for you today? I would say Kate Upton, but she's married to Justin Verlander.
Yeah. Yeah, Verlander won a World Series, got married, like the next
week? In Italy, in Tuscany. By the way, that website, StanfordBaseballCamp.com, if you're watching this broadcast and interested in a baseball camp taught by the professionals.
And I repeat, there will be no web streaming of Stanford Baseball Camp.
Bottom of the 5th inning, runner at second. Well, we talk about a snail's pace. Oof. We are about halfway through this game, and we are approaching 2 hours. Kevin, you might have to do the last few innings by yourself because I am needed.
You got to leave at 3:45 to do Stanford volleyball.
Yeah, I got to leave at 3:30.
Tim has the task of growing the game tonight.
Huge men's volleyball fan. Shout out to John Costi and staff. Done a great job this year.
Taking on Concordia, 5 p.m. first serve.
So the great thing about that is if you're at home, you don't have to you just change your stream. So go to GoStanford.com, bring up that second stream, probably get a quick dinner in, get a bite. You know, if you're so inclined, maybe have a drink of water, soda, whatever you want, whatever floats your boat.
You can have an adult beverage turning into.
You can. Just don't drive. Stay at home. Get the web stream going. Keep it with baseball, and we'll have men's volleyball free at 5. Here's the pitch to Horner, who's 0 for 2. He's batting .302. It's in the dirt. 2-0. Part of the great lineage of Oakland baseball players. Ricky Henderson. Frank Robinson, who I believe to this point is the only man to be the MVP in the NL and the AL. A's used to have the numbers and names of everybody who was from Oakland on the outfield, even players who had never played for the A's, which I always thought was really cool. Should bring that back. Maybe I'll tell Dave Cavall. 2-0 pitch, strike call.
He's open to suggestions.
Former Stanford grad, who is now the president of the A's.
Especially if you want to be hashtag rooted in Oakland.
A lot of A's, former Stanford people in MLB front offices. How about a big shout out in the dugout to A.J. Hinch, who won the World Series last year?
Yes. How about that?
Bob Boone with the Nationals, was senior advisor, senior assistant general manager. Maybe the best position player in Stanford history to come through. Usually comes out to Sunken Diamond for a series or two. Well, in terms of pace, I'm not going to call anybody out, but Summers has not helped. He has certainly taken a while and has had a lot of pickoff attempts. Minor League Baseball, it'll be interesting. Minor League Baseball is adopting what we saw with Pac-12 softball last year, which was 6 total meetings at the mound. Now, a meeting includes if a catcher comes out,
yep.
if a position player comes out. It doesn't count if a position player is trying to clear their cleats out, or if there's a cross-up. And Horner hits a routine fly ball center field. It takes a lot to hit one out, and Nico could not there. One hit, one left after 5. 1-0 Cardinal. Welcome back to Toasty Sunken Diamonds.
Yes.
Klein Fields. Ray Soderman, first pitch is hit softly into right field for a base hit. Missing off with the Stanford relief pitcher, and Jacob Palcic, who had a 5.4 ERA, not 5.4. 0.54.
How about his start to this season?
6'5", 190 freshman from Jesuit College Prep. Huh. Jesuit College Prep in the Dallas area. Because I was looking up, because I know there's Strake Jesuit in Houston area, my buddy.
There's a Jesuit in Sacramento.
There's a big Jesuit in Portland. Throw to second, dugout, second time. A fantastic play by Nico Horner with the dig at second base.
And Nico has been doing a great job on these force outs on sac bunt attempts, making sure he's able to scoop him.
First pitch, Yovan is low for a ball. It's 1-0. Kevin and I writing notes to some people, and like we're back in 4th grade.
Kari sending us
Love
texts
notes?
of Green Day music videos from 20 years ago during the broadcast.
Oh. All right, first. Here's the pitch. Whoa. That was called a strike. Boy, oh boy, that ball was about a half foot off the
Travis
plate.
Reininger is trying to get his Easter vacation started.
Well, again, we are not wearing, what's it, lightning yellow and what was the other green
Thunder
coat?
green and lightning yellow.
But, boy, I don't think that was close. Okay.
Love to see K-Zone on that one.
Well, we used to have our own version of K-Zone. Remember that?
That is true.
1-on-1 counts. Foul ball towards the parking lot. Did you park in that parking lot today?
I did. I did not park up right close though. I'm safe.
I'm in Maples, so I'm
Okay.
good. Unless
I was lucky to get a parking spot in here. They have the Stanford Invite, track and field going on.
I heard you might be doing that on Flow Track. You
I
turned
was
them down?
I was asked to do Flow Track, but I had already regularly scheduled broadcasts with GoStanford.com. The old Flow Nation.
They almost got him at first. Yeah, Kevin
Of course,
had a really lucrative offer from Flow Track that he turned down.
Would I miss a game at Sunken Diamond, Tim?
Do you want me to answer that question? Runner at first. Kevin trying to get in all of his barbs, or I am at least until that volleyball match. Routine fly ball again. Tallow with the catch.
Well, I mean, here's my thinking. In addition to just rather doing baseball than track, would you rather be at Sunken Diamond for 3 hours or the track house for 12 hours on Final Four Saturday? I think it's a pretty easy answer.
Two outs. Tony Lima, shout out to him for sending us, said he was planning on being there today, but shoulder stiffening. Hopefully,
a scratch from the Sunken Diamond attendance lineup today.
Hopefully he's getting better from the rotator cuff surgeries that he had in mid-February.
I'm glad I've never had to deal with that.
That is very serious surgery. Lined back, and it's 0-1. But, yeah, that is a fun game to come to. It's going to be a Monday afternoon. It's going to be beautiful, I think, on Monday. Gonzaga, day after Easter. To me, that sounds like fun. I don't know about you.
You are missing the national championship game.
No, it's a 1 o'clock start.
Oh, that's right.
Unless this game, well, if it goes at this pace, you might miss 2019's national championship game. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss.
You're certainly missing the women's national championship game tomorrow. I'm looking forward to that one.
What time is that game?
3 o'clock.
I'm unavailable on Monday. I have a previous engagement. I'll be on assignment.
You getting assigned?
I'm not in the major leagues, but I'll be on assignment Monday. A lot of streamed games this year.
Yes.
Off goes the runner. Swinging a chopper. Tough play. And that is going to roll to a Hewitt. That's got to be a hit.
Yeah, that's a hit. Nick
Yvonne
Sacco making the call.
and Dillion Park up there with him.
I should say Sacco, not Sacco. It's not Ryan, it's Rhine. And there is a Rhine on Oregon, Ryan Nelson.
Like a Reining an orange? Orange Rhines?
Like a Travis Reininger behind home plate.
You sure it's not Renninger?
Could be Reininger.
Well, I've been saying Renninger for about 8 years, so.
I haven't checked with the man myself.
It is fun. When I used to work in minor league baseball, they'd have the two-man crew, right?
Okay.
And we only had 8 umpires for our entire league. There were 4 games a night. So 8 umpires for the entire league. There's Evan Williams, runners at first and second.
Oh, God.
Takes a strike. So you would get to know the umpires, and you would see them out at lunch, or they'd sometimes stay at the same hotel, and you could, before the game, you could ask them what happened the night before. You can go in the umpire's room, just talk to them and ask them, "Can I have the explanation on this? What was this? What was that?" And you learned a lot about the rules.
Is that how you realize that a catcher not being behind the batter's box is a balk?
No, but maybe. I don't know. 0-1. It's low, and it's 1-1. Can you name a famous broadcaster who was a minor league umpire? If you're at home, you do not Google it if you're at home, okay? And I'm just.
How famous are we talking? Like for an MLB team or national network?
National network.
Joe Buck?
Plus. No, Joe Buck. Come on, why would he even be a major league umpire? He was. I got to be careful what I say. His dad was a major league broadcaster.
Tom Brenneman.
No, we're going bigger. We're going bigger than THOM, Tom. 1-1 to Williams.
Oh, I think I know this.
This one's rolled over the right side. Branton throws over to first. We will let everybody marinate. Who was a minor league umpire and became an all-time broadcasting great? The answer? In the bottom of the sixth, here on GoStanford.com with your GoStanford.com trivia of the day. One nothing. Stanford leads Oregon. Bottom of the sixth inning. Thanks for joining us online. Tim Swartz, Kevin Dana, your Stanford broadcasters. Our trivia question of the day: which all-time broadcast greats also was a minor league baseball umpire? 1-0 pitch popped up. This is coming right to us. It's off the roof. Man, 8 years here, no foul balls into the press box. Darn it.
This close, Tim.
Anyways, and the answer is to who was a minor league baseball umpire and then became an all-time broadcasting legend.
You are looking live at Brent Musburger.
I like to call him the GOATs, Brents. That one's a strike called on the outside, and it's 0-2 to Dashbach. Brent retired, but he is still broadcasting with the Vegas Sports Information Network on Sirius XM.
The VSiN.
Las Vegas, a place I have never spent any time at, if you want to ask my fiance. 0-2 pitch. Rolled to the left. My fiance did go to Sacred Heart Prep, Andrew Dashbach's school.
Okay. And certainly a place you wouldn't be from Thursday to Sunday next weekend.
You are you're endangering the hordes of our fans that could end up there trying to look for us. Stanford with a bunch of Las Vegas pitchers, including Zach Gretsch, who I was told probably will pitch today because he has not pitched in a while, and he's been a late innings pitcher for Stanford. Sliders swung on and missed, and there's one out.
Another Vegas Stanford pitcher pitched last night, Jack Little.
Yeah, all Jack's done this year is 10 appearances, no runs, 21 strikeouts, 4 walks, and 18 2/3.
Are those good numbers?
Jeez, Stanford pitching staff, their ERA has skyrocketed this series to 2.19.
And gave up the 10 runs on Thursday. No earned runs yesterday.
And no runs, period, today. Swing and a miss from Stowers. And it's 0-1. This might be my last half inning, Kevin.
Yeah, you have to get over to Maples Pavilion. I'll gladly take it from here.
Thanks.
Anything.
0-1 pitch to Stowers. Swing and a miss. Now the fans are going to miss the trivia and the interplay. But John Costi, Ken Shibuya, Daniel Rosay, the rest of the staff, Evan Enriquez, Kevin Rakestraw, Jake Stubner. It's their senior day at Maples.
A little curious as to why it's a 5 p.m. start tonight.
I think so Concordia can get home.
Okay.
It's 1 and 2. Now, our friend Tony Lima said Joe Buck once was on a guest on a talk show, and he said he freely admitted the way he got his old job. Nepotism.
He is a great Howard Stern guest. He's been on a couple of times. I enjoy Joe Buck.
He's great on Pardon My Take.
I haven't caught him on Pardon My Take.
He's kind of embraced the, hey, my dad was a broadcaster, but he's improved. He might be the best baseball broadcaster out there. 2-2 count to Stowers. And he ropes this ball into right center field, but it was off the end of the bat. Goldfarb, an easy catch, and there's 2 outs. Also want to mention, too, I mentioned my Twitter account, at Tim Swartz, at TIMSWARTZ.
Yeah, not SCHWARTZ.
We're going to say, if you're going to continue to watch this game and you're going to monitor it, please monitor the broadcast for me. I want to make sure Kevin doesn't say anything bad about me. So you can send me a message at Tim Swartz.
I was hoping I could get away with a couple of things while you were gone.
Here's Will Matheson, the Oregon native. Pop up. Foul territory. Everywhere else in the country, no chance. Soderman does give chase. It is more space from home plate to the backstop than from home plate to the pitcher's mound, which is very rare in college baseball.
So you mean I can't go on a tirade about the poor offseason moves made by the Las Vegas Pac-Men?
No. Or about my Syracuse Orange losing their top recruit to your
Darius
G League.
Basley all day, baby.
Get the hyphen out. G League,
yes.
No hyphen.
Thank you.
No dash.
And no orange for him. Top 10 guy.
Yeah, 9th overall pick. Prospect, I should say. McDonald's All-American. 0-2 to Matheson, who is 0 for 1 today, 308 average. He's just had 13 at-bats. He has pitched a bit. He is an excellent pitcher. And this year, made just 1 appearance as a pitcher. So we'll see what David Esker has up his sleeve in terms of how to use Will Matheson. But it's not a bad issue to have. 0-2. Rolled over the right side. 4-3. Down goes Matheson. And the Cardinal, down they go. 6 straight batters retired by Summers.
Go have fun at volleyball.
Well, I'm signing off from baseball. Make sure at 5 o'clock to watch GoStanford.com for men's volleyball against Concordia. And make sure not to go anywhere as Kevin Dania brings you.
Third time's a charm.
Kevin Dana?
We've only known each other 9 years. It's all right.
I'm like anchor man. I'm like Burgundy. You put it on a script. You put that question mark.
Hello?
And I won't say what else he said to San Diego, but it's Kevin will have the last 3 innings for you. Mercifully, I'll go away. Thank you. See you on men's volleyball tonight.
Top of the order here for the Oregon Ducks. Top of the 7th, 1-0 Stanford. As Palish is back out there. Kasser is 2 for 2. He walked in the first, doubled in the third, and singled in the 5th. Here's the 1-0, and this is low and away. Palish threw 2 innings, 24 pitches. Eric Miller went 4. 4 hits, no runs, 3 walks, a couple of Ks. Gave up just the 1 double to this guy right here. Kasser, he's facing his second lefty of the afternoon. Here's the 2-0, and that's on the outer half for strike 1. Palish is so far in his first 2+. He's given up 3 hits, has not walked anybody, has not struck anybody out either. And that is fouled away. Count is even at 2. Mentioned Oregon's going to stick around in the Bay Area. They are at USF on Monday before they return home to take on Washington State. Washington State last we heard was trailing Arizona State. I think that game's probably done by now, but the Cougars walked off the first 2 games of that series. Getting the series win. Strike 3 called outside black, and Kasser retired for the first time this afternoon. That'll bring up Daniel Patzlaff, who is coming to the plate. He reached on a fielder's choice in the 5th. And they tried to lay down a bunt. It was a heads-up play made by Maverick Handley. So he is 0 for 3 today. His average has dipped to 204, so 10 hits in 49 at-bats. Takes strike 1. And bullpen active for the Cardinal. The 0-1 is outside corner, strike 2. A lot of guys left on base here for the Ducks. That one in the dirt. It's 1-2. Didn't bite on that offer, ended Patzlaff. Here comes the 1-2. Misses outside. Patzlaff struck out swinging in the first. Popped out behind home plate in the 3rd after a leadoff double from Kasser. That one fouled back to the screen. We'll do it over. Patzlaff making his second start at shortstop this season. It's his 12th start of 2018. Drilled foul down the left field line. Splitting the difference between Eric Peterson over at the third base umpire and Jay Ullman, the third base coach, the associate head coach for the Ducks. Sliced foul the other way, right of the Stanford bullpen. Still 2-2. Here it comes. Chopped to short. Horner has a beat on it. Throw to first in time. Got him by a step and a half. And there's the second out. 6-3 put out there. I'll bring up Spencer Steer, the third baseman. So mound visit here. Looks like this is going to be it for Palish. Good work from him. He gets 7 outs. And we'll take a break, let you know about the new guy on the other side of the break. You're watching Stanford Baseball. Cardinal leading Oregon 1-0. 2 outs, top of the 7th. Nobody on here on GoStanford.com. So Will Matheson, designated hitter today, is on the mound. He is 1 inning pitched in 1 appearance, 1 strikeout, has not given up a walk or hit on the season. So his 2nd appearance on the bump, and he'll square off against Spencer Steer, who is 0 for 2. Takes the slider for strike 1. Steer popped out to 3rd in the 1st, was hit by a pitch in the 3rd, and then flied out to left in the 5th. It is 1-1 the count to Steer here. His batting average 264. Strike 2 taken. Here comes the 1-2. Low and away. A big pitch right here from Matheson. Looking to retire his 4th batter of the season. Fastball low and away. So count full to Steer. The sophomore from the LBC Collegiate Baseball Freshman All-American last year. And he did not go around. It's a walk. First walk issued by Matheson this season. And so a 2-out base on balls. And that will bring up the first baseman, Matthews, who's 1 for 3. Matthews, first team All-State at South Salem High out of Salem, Oregon. Also a 4-year basketball player there. All-State honorable mention on the hoop court. All Greater Valley Conference as well. He was the Greater Valley Conference Player of the Year as a senior on the baseball team when he hit .502. Missing outside there is Matheson, who had a 1-2 count on Steer. 1-0 pitch. Matheson taking his time. And just a little below the knees, and so he's having some trouble finding the zone as of late. So the count 2-0 now. This one popped foul, out of play, into the trees. People covering their heads, and a young fan able to scoop it up. Went through the trees, kind of took the steam out of it, and then landed pretty harmlessly. About 8 to 10 rows up. So 2-1 here. Matheson comes set, misses high and away. 3-1 count. This one drilled down the right field line, foul. Oh, if that stayed fair, this is a tie ball game. Instead, the count is full. Runner goes back to first. Again, that runner is Steer after he drew a 2-out, 2-strike walk. Was behind in the count. So another big pitch coming up right here for Matheson. The 3-2. Just missed. Good eye for Matthews, and that'll bring up the catcher Soderman, who singled his last time up. He's 2 for 3. So a big spot for Soderman, who singled in the 1st and the 6th. And Dave Esker coming out to the home plate umpire, Travis Ranger. And it looks like some changes might be made. We'll let you know what they are on the other side of the timeout. You're watching Stanford Baseball on GoStanford.com. So we're quickly back here. The only change that was made is that Bruiser and Dashbach switch spots. So Bruiser goes to left, Dashbach to first. Matheson now going to go to work against Ray Soderman, who has upped his average to 288 with a couple of singles today. No runs, 7 hits, 2 errors for the Ducks. This one is fouled back to the press box, and just on top of us it lands. Looked like it might have snuck in here, but not the case. Owen won the count. Fouled back to the screen, and quickly ahead 0-2 after a couple of foul balls is Matheson. Well, if Matheson can get out of this, that'd be huge, as it's been the theme of the day, Oregon leaving runners on. And the bases loaded in the 1st. Had a runner on in the second, had a leadoff double in the third, had a couple of runners on in the fourth, had a runner on in the fifth, a couple of runners on in the sixth, 2 runners on here in the seventh. So no 1, 2, 3 innings yet, at least in the traditional sense. So this one is fouled off. There have been 3 hitters came to the plate in the second, but Williams was caught stealing. But another 0-2 pitch on the way. Soderman calls time. We'll get back in there. 2 down, 2 on, 2 strikes. 0-2 misses outside. Getting a reminder to watch Stanford men's volleyball in about an hour and a half on GoStanford.com. They take on Concordia, senior night on the farm at Maples Pavilion. This one fouled off. It'll get out of play. About 4 rows above the Stanford dugout. Down the first base line. So we'll do it again. You would think a game that is 1-0 in the top of the 7th would be moving along rather quickly, considering only 10 combined hits. But this game is 2 hours and 28 minutes deep. And we are not quite 6.5 through. The 1-2. Chopper to short. Nico has it on the run in time to Dashbach at first. And Matheson puts 2 on, but then is able to get the ground out to short to end the inning. We'll come back after the 7th inning stretch on GoStanford.com. The Cardinal leading the Ducks 1-0. So Nick Bruiser will get us started in the bottom of the 7th as there is a new pitcher on the mound for Oregon. It is Ryan Nelson. It's not Ryan. It's not Ryan. It's Ryan. So you can close the book on Colby Summers. 6 strong, 3 hits, 1 run, 6 strikeouts, no walks, 89 pitches. And Nick Bruiser takes low and away for ball 1. Bruiser moving from first to left, and we were told why he and Dashbach switched spots because Bruiser has the stronger arm, and so with a runner on second, potential game-tying single situation arising, figured Bruiser would have a better chance of throwing out a runner at home. Bruiser today is 0 for 2. He struck out swinging in the second, lined out to center in the 4th. The Cardinal 1 run on 3 hits. That run coming in the 3rd. Swing and a miss. It was Tawa coming in on a wild pitch when when Andrew Dashbach was at the plate. Count is 1-2. To Mr. Bruiser, and that one gets all the way back to the backstop. A lot of heat on that one from Nelson. Let's give you his pitching particulars. Ryan Nelson making his 7th appearance has 2 saves, 7 1/3, 3 hits, no runs, 1 walk, 14 strikeouts, and 1 extra base hit. It's a double. Opponents hitting just 120 against the righty. So the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Bruiser strikes out swinging for the 2nd time tonight. This afternoon, I should say. Bo Branton, multi-hit game yesterday, 0 for 2 in this one. Fielder's choice in the 2nd, lined out to center to end the 4th. Stanford hasn't had a hit since that leadoff single in the 3rd. Or excuse me, they had a Hewitt single in the 5th. So only 1 hit since the 3rd inning. And Branton looks at ball 1 low and away. Excuse me, from Nelson to Branton, the 2nd baseman for Stanford. The 1-0 coming. That misses outside. Honolulu, Hawaii native, Bo. Management, science, and engineering major. He was born and raised in Saudi Arabia. Played for Saudi Arabia in the Little League World Series. And he's ahead in the count, 2-0. That misses. The 3-0. A 4-pitch walk puts Brandon on first. That'll bring up Hewitt, who singled his last time up. Stole a base, got to second. Excuse me, got to second on a sac bunt from Tawa. Did not steal a base last time up. Hewitt has 1 stolen base this season. His average of 194, 14 of 72. And last year he hit 333, 26 of 78. So I guess coming back down to earth from last season. So over his last 150 at-bats, he has 40 hits. This one on the ground, and he does his job. The sac bunt will move Brandon over to second. That'll bring up Tim Tawa, who has a single today. 1 for 2 with a single in the third, a bunt in the fifth, flied out to center to start this game. So Tao's average at 329. Soderman will come out to the mound and make sure the signals are straight between he and Ryan Nelson. So here we go. Runner on second, 2 down. Good spot for a potential insurance run. Now we're going to have another meeting at the mound. And, well, 2 hours and 37 minutes in the bottom of the seventh. This is a big spot. You want to make sure that you have everything in order if you're Oregon. Do not want to fall behind 2-0 with all the issues the Ducks have had with runners on in this one. They've been able to get the Ducks on the pond. They haven't been able to bring them home, however. So the meeting at the mound concludes, broken up by Travis Reininger. And Tao will get back in there. The Cardinals certainly will take any insurance it can get. Trying to win their second straight Pac-12 series to start off conference play this year and get to 5-1 and stay in first. Strike one called at the knees. Now here comes the 0-1 from Ryan Nelson. High and outside, and a good job by Soderman to make sure that stayed in front of him. 1-1. High, and the fastball missing, about eye level. And, you know, Nelson, he has a base open. So now they will intentionally walk him. So you get the force at first, second, and third by putting Tala on. And you take the bat out of a hand who does have a single today already and is hitting 329. So certainly makes sense to intentionally walk him. Now here's the 3-1. It's not an automatic. You do have to send it home. And Maverick Hanley will have the bat tossed to him by Tim. And so 2 runners on, 2 down here in the bottom of the seventh. Hanley 0 for 3, or 0 for 2, I should say. Did reach on an error in the first. Grounded out the third, struck out swinging. Doesn't have a stolen base. Oh, he had a sack, a bunt earlier. Comes the 1-0 to Hanley. Swing and a miss. Hanley now hitting 236. My scorecard incorrect here. So 2-1 after looking at that one low.
A couple of 2-inning outings this year against FAU and UC Davis. Threw an inning against Arizona State, a third of an inning against Cal, 1 1/3 against San Francisco.
2 on, 2 out, 2-1 count. Pivotal rubber match here. This one lined into right. Rounding second, coming home is Brandon. Throw is in time, and Bo Brandon out at home. What a throw from Jacob Goldfarb in right. So single, 9-2. What a throw from right, and the Cardinal do not get an insurance run in the 7th. It stays 1-0 as we head to the 8th on GoStanford.com.
Austin Watermiller is your new pitcher on the Toyota pitching change. Watermiller, the lefty. Let's check his numbers. Watermiller, a 4-1 record with a 4.2 ERA.
New guy on the bump for the Cardinals. We move to the 8th. It's Austin Weiermiller. His 9th appearance, a 4-1 record with a 4.20 ERA, 15 innings pitched, 15 hits, 8 runs, 7 earned, 4 walks against 13 strikeouts. He's given up 4 doubles and a home run. The opponent's hitting .254 against him. As Jacob Goldfarb is in the batter's box, and how often have we seen a guy make a great play in the field, come up to the plate in the next half inning and make something happen offensively. A fastball high to Goldfarb. It's the lefty-on-lefty matchup here. Goldfarb hitting a robust .333, but he is 0 for 3 today. Had 2 hits in the series opener, was 0 for 4 last night in the loss. Quickly 2-0. Did get on a fielder's choice last time. Tried to lay a bunt down, but sent it right back to the pitcher, and they got the force at second. It was Soderman who was trying to make his way up 90 feet. He is flied out to left twice as Goldfarb takes strike 1. So the 2-1 coming here from Wiremiller. Line right back to us off the screen, which protects us. And that'll draw the count even. Wiremiller, 4-time first-team All-Region. Cambridge High in Milton, Georgia, 2-time first-team All-State. 2-2. Skied to center. Tawa has a beat on it, moving to his right. And Tim Tawa has it for the first out. That'll bring up Kenyon Yovan, the DH who started Thursday and had a great performance on the mound. Struck out 9 and visit on the mound. Might get a righty up here. And yeah, they are making the call to the bullpen. We'll take a break. Stanford leading 1-0 here, top of the 8th on GoStanford.com. All right, so it's Jack Little out there for a potential 5-out save. He has 8 saves on the season, making his 11th appearance. It's 1-0 Stanford, nobody on, 1 down here in the top of the 8th. And Kenyon Yovan in the batter's box. Mr. Yovan 0 for 2, a walk in the 4th. Takes a look at ball 1 outside. Little's numbers stellar. Oh no, 8 saves, no ERA, 18 2/3, 6 hits, 4 walks, 21 strikeouts, 1 double. Opponents hitting 103 against him. The 1-0 is hit foul and almost took off Jay Ullman's head over at third base. He kind of did a little backward somersault there and to get out of the way. Got to have your head on a swivel. So 1-1 on the way to Yovan. And that's right over the middle for strike 2. About belt high. Breaking pitch gets over. And now he has Yovan behind in the count. The 1-2. Line into right, down the right field line, fair. Digging for second is Jovan, and he will get in there sliding in safely. So a one-out double for Kenyon Jovan. It's just the 7th hit given up in 18 2/3 IP for Jack Little. We're going to have a pinch runner at second. That'll be pinch running is Alex Andronovich, and then pinch hitting is number 46, Taylor Travis. Travis, a left-handed hitter from Springfield, Oregon, a Mount Hood Community College transfer. And so they're going to make that defensive switch where Bruiser will go back to left field and Andrew Dashbach will come to right. He gets a different glove from the dugout to reflect that he's over at first base. So Andronovich 180 feet away with Travis at the plate. And so Little going to have to work himself out of a bit of a jam here. Stanford trying to hold on to this 1-0 lead. Travis hitting 188 on the season. Takes strike one above the belt. Travis this season, 6 hits and 32 at-bats. No home runs, 4 batted in, 6 runs. He has walked 9 times, so his on-base percentage is .357. Swing and foul tipped into the glove for strike 2. Be big to get a strikeout in this spot. The 0-2. Foul back.
Williams in the on-deck circle. Travis, the type of guy who, if he hits a little slapper and stays in the infield, he's got the speed to beat it.
So here comes the 0-2. Runner on second, 1 down, top of the 8th. And this one fouled back to the screen over by the Oregon dugout. They keep it at 0-2. Hanley going to trot out to the mound. A quick little combo here between Jack Little and Maverick Hanley, as Hanley will go back behind home plate. A refresher on baseballs for Travis Reininger. Travis going to get a new bat. So get ready for another 0-2 offering to the pinch hitting Taylor Travis. Andronovich at second, fouled off again. And he's fought off 3 0-2 pitches, so Travis battling hard here. The 0-2. He did not go. Just missed outside. Good eye by Travis, who has really dug in here. So the 1-2. He went around this time. Strike 3, Travis down swinging, and a big forward K for Jack Little. We'll get another pinch hitter here for Oregon. It'll be Jason Dries, number 34. Dries, who came into this series 2 for 4 as a pinch hitter. He's an outfielder by trade, 5'8", 165, bats left, throws left from Stevenson Ranch, California, West Ranch High product. First pitch, outside corner, fastball gets there for strike one. There's the 0-1 from Little. That misses outside. Stanford 1 out away from getting out of another jam where the Ducks have at least one runner in scoring position. It's Andronovich, the pinch runner, over at second. Dries, a 278 hitter, 5 hits and 18 at-bats. Coming into this game, his 12th appearance of 2018. The 1-1 coming home, and that's outside again. So 2-1 the count. Again, you have first base open should you choose. Now, I'm not sure you want to face Kasser with 2 runners on. He is a guy who is 2 for 3 today with a double and a single, and a walk. Did strike out looking his last time up, but you'd like to not have to face him with 2 runners on. The 2-1. Fouled off, and count 2-2 as it goes over the stands here at Sunken Diamond, and some kids off to the races to see who could get there first. Stanford 19-3, the Ducks 15-10, 3-5 in Pac-12 play. U of O. Stanford 4-1. Le 2-2. Swing and a miss. Got him. Back-to-back strikeouts for Jack Little after giving up the double to Kenyon Yovan, and we head to the bottom of the 8th. Stanford looking for insurance, leading Oregon 1-0 on GoStanford.com. Couple of defensive notes to give you here for Oregon. So the 2 pinch hitters stay in the game. Jason Dries will come in and play left. Taylor Travis, who came in for DeLuca, will take his spot in center. The Cardinal leading 1-0 as we head to the bottom of the 8th, and it will be Horner, Dashbach, Stowers for the Cardinal 3-4-5. Looking for insurance. Almost got it. in the bottom of the 7th with that single from Maverick Hanley with a runner on second, but a great throw in right from Goldfarb, able to get Brandon at home by more than a step. The count 1-0 to Horner, who's 0 for 3 in this one. Flied out to right. 6-3 fielder's choice. Flied out to center and takes a strike there. Let's take a look around the Pac-12 scoreboard. Arizona State able to salvage the series in Pullman. Lost the first 2 in walk-off fashion. Defeated the Cougars by a touchdown this afternoon, 7-0 up in Eastern Washington. Utah taking 2 of 3 from the #1 team in the country. We're probably looking at a new #1 come Monday as the Utes win 11-8. And so how about them Utah Utes now 3-3 in conference play, 6-20 overall. Arizona getting the win over Nichols this afternoon, 9-3 in a non-conference clash. The 1-2 to Horner is chop foul. USC and Washington tied at 4 in the top of the 6th, and UCLA just going in front with a run in the top of the 7th, taking a 3-2 lead on the Golden Bears. UCLA winning 4-2 last night against Cal in Berkeley. Washington beating USC last night 5-2. Low liner back up the middle. It's going to be a leadoff single for Horner. A big turnaround first, and they're going to throw back to first. He slides in safely, but Nico Horner gets his first hit of the afternoon, and maybe something brewing here for the Stanford Cardinal. Offensive timeout taken here by Dave Esker. And not the first time Dave Esker has called us, trying to go over some signals here and make sure that everything is in order. So Dashbach will dig in there against Nelson.
How about this, Rob? Utah wins the series against Oregon State. They won 11-8.
Dashbach 0 for 3 today. He struck out twice, lined out to third. Low liner. That definitely saved a run. The diving stab by Spencer Steer over at third.
Arizona State avoids the sweep with a 7-0 win against Washington State. Arizona State's been good on Sundays. I know today's Saturday, but
so here we go. First pitch to Dashbach. Time taken. And Dashbach will step in there again. 3 hours and 4 minutes here in the bottom of the 8th in a 1-0 game. 1-5-0 for us, 0-8-2 for them, as the Hawk would say. Pitch out, and the throw to second doesn't get him. And so Horner able to steal second. And now a runner on second with nobody out. And for Nico, that's his 5th stolen base. That takes over the team lead. He shared it with Alec Wilson. And so now Stanford a runner in scoring position, nobody out. You just play station to station from here. You can sacrifice your way to a 2-0 lead. Let's see if Dashbach shows bunt here. He has the bat back. Swinging away, but takes outside, so it's 2-0. Nelson now does have first base open. It's Stowers in the on-deck circle. He had a single to lead off the second.
not made the little minute plays that make a difference in close games like this. Runners off second with
2-0 pitch. skied into right, shallow right. Goldfarb coming in, and he will call off the second baseman. Now running and just holding on to third base, keeping that foot on the bag is Nico Horner. Gutsy play there as Casser was called off. Goldfarb coming in. And a heck of a throw from Goldfarb. We've already seen the arm once, but Horner gets in, and so a fly out that moves Horner to third from Dashbach. And so Kyle Stowers, with the infield drawn in to try to take away the RBI ground out, they're certainly not going to concede a run here, down 1-0. And Stowers, an RBI opportunity, has 16 driven in on the campaign and calls for time. First pitch, breaking ball, missed somewhere. I don't know. Maybe a little inside. 1-0. Look good. Mentioned Stowers singled in the second. He struck out swinging to end the third, flied out to right in the sixth. So he's hitting .267 on the campaign now. Stowers, who will also pitch for this team, drills one to right, and Goldfarb doesn't even give it a chase. A two-run homer for Stowers to make it 3-0. Kyle Stowers providing Stanford with some much-needed insurance. Touch them all, Kyle. It won't be the biggest one you'll ever hit, but it's certainly a significant two-run homer. And so Matheson will step in there. He was on the mound earlier in this game. Stanford could breathe easy now. Matheson got an out, did walk two, but a third of an inning of shutout ball. So 1-0, bases cleared after Stowers' home run on the season for Kyle, his third homer of the season. And it's the 16th hit by the Cardinal in 2018. 1-1 to Matheson. The aggregate score in this series, not that it counts for anything, is 11-9 Oregon. They still outscored the Cardinal in this series as a result of that 10-1 win on Thursday, but Stanford in position to take 2 of 3. The 2-1 missing in, and Matheson holding his swing. Able to hold up and check his swing there, and now a 3-1 count to the designated hitter slash reliever today. Bruiser on deck. The 3-1 swing and a miss. He was swinging for the fences. Little getting the save yesterday for his 8th of the season. It was a 5-out save. Came on after Bubic retired the first 22. Well, not the first, not in order, but got the first 22 outs of the game, and then 3 strikeouts for Little yesterday. So far for Little today, 2 strikeouts for both of his outs. The 3-2 is inside, ball 4. So Matheson will trot on over to first. Bruiser steps in. As they play Birds Flying High. I like that. A nice walk-up song here for Bruiser. Birds flying high, you know how I feel. First pitch to Bruiser, inside corner, strike 1 taken. Bruiser 0 for 3. Swing and a miss, 0-2. 2 strikeouts and a line out to center. Brandon on deck.
Bruiser struck out against Nelson. First batter that Nelson faced in the 7th inning.
Here's the 0-2, fouled off. Over the Stanford dugout, over the stands, over the seating area, out of play. I'll do it over. Stanford softball taking on Washington. Washington, the #1 team in the country. Stanford men's volleyball has Concordia tonight at 5. The Stanford invite going over. Over to track and field. High and tight there to Bruiser as he has to duck out of the way. That pitch getting away from Nelson. And the count 1-2. Oh, the 1-2 pitch fouled back. So a good battle put up here by Bruiser. Doesn't want to go 0 for 4 today. Likely his last at-bat of the series. Reminder, Stanford will be in action on Monday. Afternoon start, 1 p.m. Then they're at Santa Clara Tuesday night before heading down to SoCal to take on UCLA. Strike 3, and Bruiser knew it. Great hook there from Nelson. And Bo Brenton will step in there. He's thrown out at home the last inning, what would have made it 2-0 at the time. Goldfarb, a great throw. Ran 0 for 2. Got a stolen base. Or excuse me, got to second on a sack. Rafai's bunt. Swing and a miss. And I should probably differentiate there in my scorecard, but Brandon walked his last time up. He's behind 0-1. Fouled off, 0-2, and the Ducks trying to get out of this inning, needing only 3 to force a bottom of the 9th. The 0-2.
1-2 pitch from Nelson. Away.
Outside. Branton reached out a fielder's choice in the second, lined out to center in the fourth before walking in the seventh. The Honolulu kid trying to extend the inning for the Cardinal. They'll check back over on Matheson at first. In the dirt, it gets away from Soderman, and Matheson will move up to second. So wild pitch, the call. Runner on second now, 2 down, 2 balls, 2 strikes. And we'll get a pinch runner for the Cardinal now that there is a runner in scoring position. It is Christian Malfetta, number 2. Making his 8th appearance of the season. He has scored 2 runs. A 2-2. Inside, got lost underneath the ump's legs there. It got away from Soderman a bit, but not far away enough for Malfetta to really try to test Soderman there. So the count is full. First base is open. The 3-2. Lifted to right. Goldfarb coming in. Has to play it on a hop. Malfetta on his horse. The throw off line. So Malfetta comes in to score. And as that one goes off the glove of Soderman at home, Branton takes second. So an RBI single for Bo Branton. And the Cardinal now leads 4-0. That'll bring up Jesse Kiewit. So another insurance run. You'll take any you can get. And an error will be charged there as well. It's the 3rd error of the game on Oregon. Swing and a miss for Kiewit.
Nelson really starting to get more and more work now that Jovan has moved to the starting rotation.
0-1 is fouled off. Count 0-2.
Well, with their closer, it's going to be a steep hill to climb if you're the Ducks. Down 4 runs.
There's the 0-2 to Kiewit. Foul off. I'll do it again. Kiewit 1 for 2, singling in the 5th. Laid down a nice sack bunt in the 7th. Flied out to center in the 2nd. Inside. The 1-2. Outside corner. Nice breaking ball from Nelson, and then that'll take us to the 9th. So Stanford can take the series from Oregon with 3 more outs. They'll try to get them on the other side of the break here on GoStanford.com. Jack Little trying to get his second consecutive 5-out save as the Cardinal leads 4-0. He came on when it was a 1-0 game, but the Cardinal getting 3 runs in the 8th. The 2-run homer from Kyle Stowers, the headliner, followed by an RBI single from Bo Brandt to give the Cardinal that insurance. Kevin Dano on the call here on GoStanford.com, and some defensive moves to note after this first pitch to Kyle Kasser, which is taken for strike 1, the fastball down Broadway. So Stowers moves from right to left. Alec Wilson is in at right field. And Nick Bruiser goes back to first. Dashbach is out. Little working with an 0-1 count. This one lofted in the left opposite field single for Kyle Kasser as Stowers gets that back in quickly. So Kasser, a 3-for-4 game. He hasn't been the issue. The issue hasn't been getting guys on for Oregon. It's been driving them home. No 1-2-3 innings in this game for Oregon offensively. Left the bases loaded in the first. Had a guy thrown out trying to steal second, or kind of caught in the base pass on a rundown in the second. Leadoff double didn't come to fruition in the third, as Patzlaff takes low and in for ball 1. Leadoff single didn't come to fruition in the 5th. Leadoff single in the 6th. Nothing happened. Back-to-back walks in the 7th. 2 guys on. Nothing happened. And in the 8th, a 1-out double, and the runner stranded. So a leadoff single here, and Patzlaff, who's 0 for 4, takes strike 1 on the inside corner. Patzlaff, a swinging strikeout in the first. Flied out in the 3rd. Fielder's choice in the 5th. Grounded out to short in the 7th. That's been the day for him. 10 hits and 50 at-bats on the campaign now. The 1-1. Misses outside. We're at 3 hours and 25 minutes right now. A 2-1 count. Swing and a miss, strike 2.
One run in the 3rd for Stanford, and then they broke it open with 3 in the 8th. 4-0 is your score. You're in the top of the 9th.
A 2-2. Lifted down the left field line. And Stowers catches it in foul territory. So 1 away. Steer 0 for 2. Popped out to third, flied out to left in the first and fifth, hit by a pitch in the third, walked in the seventh. As he takes strike one.
We talked about it at San Francisco on Monday, 3 o'clock game. I think game becomes much more important because you just got to go 2-2 on this weekend trip. And then you come back home and you play the Cougs in a 3-game series. The Cougs just took 2 of 3 from Arizona State.
The 0-1. Outside corner strike two. Nice looking delivery there from Little.
Come on, man. Finish your day. No balls and 2 strikes. A couple of huge upsets this weekend. And huge might not be the right word for the Washington State, Arizona State weekend. Washington State had been scuffling all year, but it's always tough to win in Pullman. But Utah taking the series.
Here's the 0-2. Just outside. Good eye from Steer. So we'll count 1 and 2. This one fouled off, just caught by the screen. Almost lined it over it. Run our first one out. Cardinal leading 4-0. Trying to improve to 5-1. One, two. Line to center. Tawa doesn't have to move too much. 2 away. Looks like the wind blowing in just a little bit. Looking at the flags at center field here at Klein Field at Sunken Diamond. Might have had a little bit of a roll in that dying down in center. And it gave Matthews the last hope here for the Ducks. He is 1 for 3. Singled in the first, grounded into an inning double play, 4-6-3 in the third, grounded to second in the fifth, walked in the seventh. That put 2 runners on with 2 out in the seventh. So the 0-1 on the way here from Jack Little, trying to get the 5-out save, and now the Ducks down to their last strike as that is fouled out of play.
One strike away from Stanford winning this series. Winning the last 2 games by a combined score of 9-1. Oregon cannot muster any offense the final 2 days.
Here's the 0-2. Could be the last pitch of the weekend. It is not. Fastball high. Here comes the 1-2. Fouled back. Well, the slow clap starting here at Sunken Diamond again for what these fans hope is the final pitch. The 1-2 from Little to Matthews. Drilled foul just past the Stanford dugout. So the 1-2 one more time. Matthews trying to prolong the inning. Swing and a miss. This series is over. The Cardinal, after getting blown out Thursday night, 10-1, win 5-1 Friday and 4-0 Saturday to improve to 5-1 in Pac-12 play, and they get their 20th win of the season, and it only took 23 games to do so. So a great start to the Dave Esker era here at Stanford continues with a series victory over the Ducks. We'll be back here Monday night, or Monday afternoon, I should say, as Gonzaga comes to town. And then another midweek game at Santa Clara before heading down to SoCal to take on UCLA. That's what's coming up for Stanford. For Oregon, they stick around here until Monday, and they take on San Francisco on the Hilltop at 3 p.m. before returning home to take on Washington State for a 3-game series in Eugene. Thanks for tuning in to Stanford Baseball all weekend long. For Kari Jones, I'm Kevin Dennis saying good afternoon from Stanford. You've been watching Stanford Baseball on GoStanford.com.